And watch on Intercut, the weekly show going through all the movies, TV, and entertainment that people just can't cut away from. I'm your co-host Arturo Surita, and joining me for the Globes, it's Zachary Shevin.
It is an honor just to be nominated. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, you got to shout out the Hollywood Foreign Press. Your nomination, your win, none of that means anything. You do not get the goodie bag if you don't say thank you to the Hollywood Foreign Press and the Intercutie Association for having us out here on another weekend must-watch. This weekend movies, we've got, honestly, very little. We'll be recapping a lot of the stuff that's been coming out in theaters, some really big blockbuster weekends, but the big part is the awards, as we're wrapping up the Gothams, the Astras, I don't think we've covered that one yet, and the Golden Globes have dropped their nominations this week, so we're going to be talking about all of that and more as we get in to the final month of 2024. Zach, I don't know how many movies you've logged. I don't know how many hours we've put in. I think we may have done more intercut shows than people have watched movies, perhaps.
There's a good chance.
But it's that time of the year to recap all of the hundreds upon hundreds of movies. I believe collectively we cross 1,000. Like the amount of time that we put in, they say it's 10,000 hours or 100,000 hours to become a professional perfectionist. Yeah, something like that. I think we're about 3 hours away. We're about an Irishman, a Wicked, whatever the new one is. One more Brutalist, and I think we'll fully be there. But if y'all been listening to the show, you know that we cover on a weekly basis all of the good stuff to see, all of the must-watch picks from movies, TV, and all entertainment. We will be recapping a lot of the awards and stuff very shortly. But we like to start off the show, especially recently, giving a big shout-out to all of the shout-outs we've been getting in return, as well as the Intercutie patrons who support us on a weekly basis. Oh, Zach's going with the Braille. I think you may have zapped out again. Sometimes the Intercutie patrons, they provide so much, it leaves Zach speechless. I think I hear you.
All right, so I'm going off my worst computer or my worst microphone for the live stream. If the audio now or any time is ever like not crisp enough for you, we always record our audio independently and then upload like the crisp version to the audio format. You can even like play the audio and watch the video on mute, sync them up, do a little bit of like editor lining things up. So I'll stick with this for now.
When it disconnects, does it not disconnect from your recording, your audition?
Like the light stayed on, so I'm confused about why
it just stops getting picked up from StreamYard.
Yeah, I mean my audition still got it going. The audio,
as long as it's still there, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I think StreamYard has given us some issues in the last couple of weeks, so we might have to figure that out. I know some people were frustrated with the crackling audio a couple of weeks ago. So
we're gonna have to find the CEO of StreamYard, have a word
right.
With them. But in the meantime, we got to give a shout out to the biggest Intercutie patrons out there.
Yes, let's do it. Thank you to those wonderful people who are supporting the show, whether it's through your patronage on patreon.com/intercutpod or by signing up to be a member right here on YouTube through the join button and becoming a member. You can see all of the Intercutie's wonderful names on the screen right now. But in the Academy tier, we want to shout out to Shar, Cademan, Connor, May, Ricky, Joe, Wiley, Benji, Matt, Jeremy, and Michael, I guess. And as well, we want to shout out our producer level patrons, Toon, Brandon G, and Josh. A huge thanks to all of them. And a reminder that you too can become an Intercutie by heading over to patreon.com/intercutpod or just clicking the membership button on YouTube, and you'll get access to all sorts of stuff. You get a look at our episode outlines sometimes before we publish them, our brackets. Sometimes we publish them. We just recorded an awesome Amy Adams bracket episode, which is live now for our patrons days before it becomes available for the public. You also don't have to get anything at all. You could just support the show and leave us alone, and we'll keep making the podcast for you.
That works too.
Yeah, that works too. We don't mind it. But we've also got our monthly patron Google meetings or video chats. We don't even use Google anymore. They're video chats. So a fun place where we talk about the latest movies happening with
the worst movies. Last week I had recommended, because we decided to just all take a dookie on the biggest, worst movies of the year. And Mark from Tampa had told us about, I want to say it was a Tyler Perry one. So of course I had to deliver the good worst news back. And I was like, actually, Mark, There's one even worse than the Netflix one, and it is on Prime. I want to say it was Divorce in the Black that I had recommended. My man was so flabbergasted. I want to say he added us, and he was like, "This is hands down the worst thing." If you like getting good recommendations from us, let me give you one of the worst recommendations of the year so far. One of the goofiest movies. I'm not even recommending the feature-length film. Just watch the intro. One of the dumbest intros of the year is in Amazon Prime's Tyler Perry's Divorce from the Black. From here on, I'll try to recommend you better movies. But that was one of the instances that we had when talking to the Intercutie patrons. Not just the good stuff, but the bad stuff, all the goofiness, the good, the bad, the ugly, when you join the Intercut Patreon.
Exactly. We talked about our worst movies of the year, which is not a thing that we normally do a video about. But if you really want to know what movies we think are the worst from... Have we ever done a video for the worst movies of the year? I don't think we have.
If we did, it was like so early on. It's not a consistent thing, but I know we consistently complain about stuff. What was that? Do you remember when what's his name voiced the dog for Netflix? Pete Davidson?
Pete Davidson made the... what was it? The... it's not like Scooby. It's like a... Marmaduke. Thank you, Caitlin.
It was so bad we might as well have made a segment called Worst Movies of the Year with how that is a punching bag. But nonetheless, when you join over on the Patreon, we do a lot of hangouts and have a lot of fun discussions, movie stuff, share posters, all that good stuff to create our own little movie club.
How am I sounding right now? Can you hear me?
Oh my gosh, bro. It's like the heaven doors open. Crispy.
Ooh, okay. We see
right before we begin. Well, perfect.
Yeah.
No, I thought you just disappeared again.
Really?
No, you're back. You're good.
Okay, cool. Well, I do want to give a quick shout out to the Intercut Pod Instagram account. You know, every time we do a new bracket episode, we run polls asking the Intercuties for their opinions. And we obviously just did our Steve McQueen bracket episode with our buddy Jeremiah Battle. And we picked 12 Years a Slave as the winner of that bracket. The Intercuties followed suit. They predictably also picked 12 Years a Slave. It won over Shame in the finals. If you ever want to have your voice heard and vote on what you think should win our brackets, make sure to follow us on social media. We'll probably be running our Amy Adams bracket throughout next week. So now's a great time to follow the pod on Instagram or whatever your favorite social media is.
Sounds good. Before we jump into the movies of the week, how was yours? You were over in Hollywood land.
Yeah, I spent a quick 36 hours in LA and I did absolutely nothing movie related, which is very unusual for me. I drove past the Cinerama Dome and looked wistfully out my window. It's closed anyway. I couldn't get in there. But yeah, I mean, I drove to some of my old spots. I checked out my the New Art Theater that I'd been to quite a bit, and the Cinemark. But I was having more of like a sports and food weekend than a movies weekend.
Traitor.
Yeah, turning my back on the pod.
Overall good though. Good trip over to LA.
Yeah, you know, good to see friends. Good to hang with my dad. Maybe sports are painful, but that's why we love them.
Tell me about it, bro. Screw sports. The movies will never leave you. You can trust on them. They don't fail you. But no, it sounds like a really good trip.
You know what I did do? I watched Moneyball on the plane home, and I cried a little bit.
And still hold up?
It's still amazing, man.
I've been willing to rewatch it. I've had that on the deck as like, what am I just going to waste time and watch an 07, 08 film that's got nothing to do with the 30 films I need to watch before the end of the year?
Yeah, man. There's never a wrong time to revisit Moneyball. I don't know if Juan Soto is really a disciple of the Billy Bean method. I'm sure you saw that number come through today.
Wait, is it official?
Yeah, I think it's officially official. Juan Soto's with the Mets for the largest contract in the history of sports. Right? $765 million. They're paying him more than Ohtani, bro. I don't understand that.
The Mets
swiped him from the Yankees.
That's very embarrassing. I had heard the SNL joke that they had done about like, what if you give it to charity? I was like, well, that's why I'm going to work for the Mets.
George Steinbrenner's turning over in his grave today. I'll tell you.
Yeah, that's kind of insane, especially to not win it, especially with that fifth inning that absolutely failed under them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, good for Juan Soto. Good for sports. How about some movie films, Zach? How about we get into the newest of the week dealing with cinema? And in particular, we're going to go through kind of like a yay or nay that we're going to do for these movies, considering that we have covered a little bit of them. So we'll be talking about some of the box office, some of the behind the scenes, how they've kind of held up. Because we did talk a little bit about Moana too. So we've kind of given you our review. We were both okay with it. We didn't hate it. There's a lot of these movies, especially early on in Disney's career, where they would do these like B movies, stuff that was going to go straight to DVD. In this case, straight to streaming as a TV show. Hey, they made some classics back in the day. They made money with this one. We don't think this is the best one out there. It was adequate enough. The songs were okay. We didn't hate them. Not as memorable as the first. But Zach, did you consider the money they were going to make with this thing?
Yeah, I mean, look, quality-wise, to me, this is a movie that feels like a straight to streaming, but as a business decision, they definitely made the right one with Moana 2.
Yeah, they marked it down completely. I've set it up, if you've seen the movie, to already get more Moanas, so more Moanas coming in. But that number is ridiculous. Is this the week or the 5-day weekend?
This is the 5-day weekend. It made 225 million. Gigantic ridiculous number.
Now, mind you, for opening weekends, that counts Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A 5-week opening is usually when you got the Memorial Day, or they're counting, like Thanksgiving, Thursday, that Friday. So technically, you remove the 2 extra days, it does not count as one of the biggest box office openings. But as a specialty, it does. And for Thanksgiving, I believe it broke the record.
Yeah, it is the biggest biggest Thanksgiving weekend gross of all time. So that's fairly significant in itself. You were talking about how it's not necessarily that big on the all-time opening weekends. It's the 38th largest opening weekend ever, which, not bad. I think that puts it second out of movies that were released this year, behind Deadpool and Wolverine. So Disney keeps making money.
But the big thing I think there is that when you're looking at the 3-day weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 139, 100 mil came from Thanksgiving.
Right.
I think when you start looking at what day are people going to the most, that was a record-breaking day. Like, one day had more people come out than the whole weekend.
Yeah, so I saw somebody tweet this, and I wasn't able to verify it, so take it with a grain of salt. But I believe the Friday after Thanksgiving was the second highest grossing day at the box office ever, period. If you take the total that Moana 2, Wicked, Gladiator 2, and all the other movies that were in the box office made collectively.
That's insane. So
yeah.
Hey,
movies are back.
Movies are back again.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they were gone and they came back with Top Gun and then they were gone? Like, that's honestly all we're here for, is to set up the next campaign for when they leave so we can celebrate them coming back again. Moana 2, not a bad movie to go enjoy for the weekend, in my opinion.
I do have a question for you, because the original plan that Disney had was for Moana 2 to be actually this series on Disney Plus. We talked about that already. And that they would actually make a live action Moana starring The Rock, which is still set to come out in theaters next year. Do you think the release of Moana 2 hurts or helps the live action Moana?
The release of Moana 2 helps live action Moana immensely. Whether that means it's going to be a good decision, I don't know, but it's definitely going to benefit from it, because this means that people are really craving more Moana. It is not doing anything wrong. The songs are not pushing them back in any way, shape, or form. And Disney's been really good at this, because I believe Frozen 2 was also not that incredible, and they're taking the time now to really focus on back-to-back 3 and 4. In terms of shows, I'm curious to see Disney and Disney Pixar. Disney Pixar released Inside Out and Inside Out 1 and are now working on that Dream Productions that I think comes out next week. They're figuring out a way to make TV shows adjacent to their movies.
Right.
And you're telling me that this was technically supposed to be a series to lead to something else. Maybe they're restructuring it so that they're looking at Disney Pixar going, okay, no, Moana 2 movie, get a Maui show.
Right.
Because it also feels like the live action doesn't cohesively work with it. It's almost like you're doubling them up. Like, get a couple more Moana movies before you start live actioning them. But everyone's doing something weird. We won't even get into WB later. WB is doing cartoons with their live action, and they're the same characters. Whether they become a cartoon, whether they become a live action, we are on all these years in Intercut. We're in a different stage where it's no longer get the comic book out and then the movie. We are doing so many adjacent things at one go, and we're not even getting into the discussion of like what happens when they mix the live action with the animation, a la Spider-Verse. What happens when they start becoming intertwined to a way where you need to now marvel it and watch the Moana show to understand the Moana MCU that's happening, because that's really what they're building it up for.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the point you made about Frozen 3 being a little more long gestating than Frozen 2, I think is the apt one. Like now that Disney is clearly aware of what a juggernaut this Moana franchise is, we're not going to get whatever's next for Moana's story on the small screen. It's going to be a movie. You know, there are hints in Moana 2 that they are trying to expand the story beyond this. And you know, if they take their time with it, maybe that gives them enough time to find room in Lin-Manuel's schedule to bring him back. I think that would help as well.
He reminded me, no, he's doing the press run right now. Talking about Mufasa. I was like, that's right. You are doing what you're supposed to do. Why would he look back, Zach? It's like, what is he? What did he move on? That he can't do Moana? Oh, the other Disney movie. Yeah, Mufasa. I would much rather go do something like that than this. But you were mentioning what they're expanding on. I think those extra characters in Moana may not fit in a Moana movie. They could fit in a show.
Right.
Yeah. Make money everywhere. So Moana 2 out in theaters. At the end of the day, I did give it the recommendation. And I think it's because we gave it the thumbs up that it made that much on Thanksgiving. All the inner kitty parents just decided to take them out. So I'm glad y'all heeded the word. Pretty good. Decent.
Where did you land on this one? 3 stars, 3.5? I think I'm maybe 3 stars.
Yeah, I'm plugging it with 3 stars after further debate, but it just did not have the half. I did not hum anything.
That's the thing.
And it's been 2 weeks now. Yeah. And no one's made it a bit at all. I keep hearing the Elphaba, but I have not heard one single thing from this. Not even an onomatopoeia. Nothing like you did the first time around with Moana.
Yeah. All right. So I'll put that as a 3-star on the Intercut Letterboxd, and a reminder that if you want to follow along with any of the movies that we mention on this week's show, we are plugging away at our weekly weekend must-watch lists on Letterboxd. You can easily look up any movie that we discuss during the episode.
Sounds good. Moving into some of the other ones that we have already talked about. Zach caught this at TIFF. I caught it at Chicago. Some people don't even know that it's out right now because it's not even leaving a bark, bro. Nightbitch with Amy Adams and one of my favorite directors, Mariel Heller, is out in theaters right now. I would recommend it in the same way. I think it's worth at least a matinee, but I'm assuming most people are going to wait for this at home because there is not a big Oscars push for Amy Adams in this, in a story where it's adapted from a book about a woman who, after having a child and leaving her creative career behind, has started turning into a dog. It's a metaphorical in many ways, it's very comedic in ways that we have really come to appreciate, as we've done an Amy Adams bracket that we just finished up, and where we talked about how she's very undervalued in these types of movies, which is why I appreciate it. I would give it the recommendation, but I know it may not be the thing that people are looking for in an Amy Adams film towards the end of the year.
Yeah, it's not going to be the movie that breaks her Oscar winless streak, and I know that's probably what a lot of people that's what a lot of people hope every new Amy Adams movie is going to be. But that doesn't mean that it's not worthwhile. It's not pretty delightful. I mean, it maybe is a little bit trite and a little bit saccharine. You know, it's not exactly the most revelatory movie about the experience of motherhood, but that doesn't mean it's not true, and it doesn't feel authentic and you know, find nuances of humor in there. I think mostly like it's the way that Amy Adams just so believably embodies this role, and you get all her frustration, and you get you know, a bit of silliness from her because she can be a little bit more slapstick. I think she just does it really well. And as you mentioned, you know, Mariel Heller is pretty reliable in terms of her output as well. Feels personal to her. You know, not my favorite film from either of them, but I liked it. I think I landed around 3.5. I think that's where you're at with it as well.
Evens right there.
Great.
Nightbitch out in theaters. I don't know your thoughts if you were able to check it out. Another one that also just got its wide release. We got to catch this one over at the South by Southwest Film Festival, where we were amped with it. Grew up in the 90s. Y2K, that turn of the century.
I remember that.
Cast, actors that look pretty good. A comedian turned director who I love, and Brigsby Bear. I think he's made some funny stuff in SNL. Kyle Mooney came out with Y2K. And look, I'm not going to overhate it. Sometimes we say, I'm a big proponent on this. Something comes out very mid for you. You got to remember that means a mid score. I cannot give this 1 or 2 stars. It is exactly in the middle, which is what makes it a little frustrating because it has a very strong beginning. And the story takes some twists and turns and tones that were just not for me for the end of it. I can see this being up some people's alley. I'm not going to overhate it. It is bland right there in the middle as a 3 stars for me. Yeah. I wanted to like it a lot more. It's just one of those, you know?
Yeah. I get wanting to give a mid movie a mid rating. Unfortunately, I think this one, it's a little worse than mid. I was pretty frustrated. I do. Like, it just ultimately didn't make me laugh much. It made me laugh a couple times at best, and that's the job of a comedy. We talked about this in our South by Southwest video, which hopefully I can put a link to in the description. You can look it up as well. More extended thoughts on the movie, but I just kind of felt like it was pretty thin. Like, it feels
Campbell,
like
you went 1.5.
I did, dude. I was pretty frustrated with this movie out of South by Southwest. I don't know. I think that the jokes just wear really quickly, and there's not a lot of turns there. Like, it doesn't surprise you. And also just the movie loses a lot of energy once they get rid of the character who I think is working the best, who I won't
There
spoil
was a
here.
character that needed more scenes. Amen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Messed up there for sure.
Yeah. Look, I mean, look, I hope some people like it. I think the whole Fred Durst element of it is pretty humorous, but I don't know, man. This one's a miss to me.
Least favorite. I preferred Fred Durst where I didn't recognize him in TV Glow. Then going, hi guys, I'm hello fellow kids.
Yeah.
No, absolutely terrible. Also, he's 24 years older than what he's supposed to be at this time, and like I can't wrap my head around that. It's just that joke. Like, I get it's supposed to be part of the bit. It's not funny to me.
Yeah, and that's the other thing with this movie is like it is going for all of those nostalgia points, yet it kind of gets the timeline wrong. Like, Thong Song by Cisco is a big part of this movie, and that song didn't come out until February 2000.
Yeah, and I think that's besides what do you call those when it's a mistake in a movie like that?
Inaccuracy, continuity, or I guess historical.
Yeah, there was like some specific name when it comes to a timeline thing.
Oh, anachronism. Yeah.
There you go. There's just a pattern when it comes to someone making a movie like that, shows you the motivations for what they're going for. And I think once you realize that, it's like it's a vibe throwback film for them more than it is something for everyone collectively. That's when you realize, like, gotcha, these jokes are not for me. And that's why I leave it as a 3, because it's like you're just entering a realm where it's like, this is a pocket for y'all over there. I won't overhate it, but I really wanted to like this Kyle Mooney movie. Yeah. Hey, it's out in theaters. It got a wide release from A24. And if you're curious, let us know your thoughts down below. But there's another, I want to say, A24 movie. You've had the chance to see it. You've told me about it a couple times. So is it even A24? What is Queer?
Yeah, it is A24.
Wow, they don't got A24 on the crew thing here, but I'm leaving you here. Remind me, why should people see this in theaters or wait for it at home?
I don't know if people necessarily need to rush out for it. I think if you are a fan of Luca Guadagnino as a filmmaker, or interested in Daniel Craig as an actor, there's certainly going to be enough for you there. But this isn't like the most immediately rewarding film. It is a character piece and a bit of an enigmatic one. There's some really intriguing visual symbolism going on throughout the movie that results in some fantastically memorable images that are a bit unsettling, but also like haunting in an intriguing way. Like they just sort of stick with you. It's hard even for me to feel like I have a good summary of this movie, because it feels like a couple movies smashed into one another. There's the sort of like hungover, druggy hangout movie that it starts out with, and then there's the more like abstract, experimental, more drug trip thing that happens towards the back half.
I've been hearing weird things, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at one point people thought this might have been an Oscar contender, and it's ultimately just like a bit too weird, a bit too esoteric, I think, for Academy voters to latch onto. Maybe Daniel Craig is good enough that he breaks through. It's not a tragedy if you miss this one, but I think there's enough there that it's worth consideration. It's not gonna be anywhere near my best movies of the year list, but I'm eager to revisit it because there's so much going on in this film.
I'm excited for it. I did not get the chance to go to theaters to see it yet, but I will be making the trip out for it. I've heard good things about the sound design and the score. They've been releasing a couple singles, but I'm in it for the performances. From what you've said and what other people have said, is do not expect challengers.
No,
which is fascinating to me because it's the same duo coming in to do it when writing and directing. So Queer out in theaters now. And then this last one right here is one that you caught at TIFF, I caught at Chicago, and they've been putting a couple of posters out of my theater. The Return. You got to catch this in theaters?
Yeah. Roy Thompson Hall.
I got to catch a screener for this.
Okay.
And I think that's the way you should be catching this. You got to see it in theater, so you could judge it a little bit more off of its actions and stuff. We gave a little thoughts about this at Chicago and TIFF, but to me, I think it's worth watching at home for this adaptation.
Yeah, well, like this is an adaptation of part of Homer's The Odyssey, right? It's not the full epic tale, but it is specifically towards the end, the return from the Odyssey as Odysseus returns home and sort of reckons with the wake of his absence. And for you hear adaptation of the Odyssey, adaptation of this epic historical tale, and you might think like big sword and sandal drama a la Gladiator 2, but you're right. Like this is a small movie with a couple actors in a couple locations. There's not really any gigantic action set piece that you need to see in IMAX. It's a pretty intimate movie, and I think what I appreciated about it is that it made a story that's always felt really distant to me feel really human. Like I feel like I get the characters and their motivations and their anguish towards one another from this telling of it. But it is kind of a small movie, and it is a bit like gingerly paced. Benefits from having actors like Ray Fiennes and Juliette Binoche returning from their previous collaboration, The English Patient here. I don't know, man. I think I landed the same place as you. Like it's a 3-star movie. It might be a worthwhile rental if you find the material compelling.
And Ralph Fiennes is pretty ripped in it, so my man keeps getting older and he keeps showing you. And even behind the Kingsman suit, he's ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
The return out in theaters now. I would wait till it comes at home. Not a bad watch, especially if you're interested in how they flip the story. We do have some pilot previews here. I didn't get to see this first one because I was really focused on the second one, the real cinema that's out there. But tell me about the agency, because I saw this poster come out when I was watching some other Paramount stuff for throwbacks, especially for Amy Adams bracket. So Michael Fassbender is back. What's happening here?
Right, like it kind of feels crazy that there's a whole ass spy show on Paramount Plus starring Michael Fassbender, and it's not really getting that much buzz. But it's not just Michael Fassbender.
Right?
There's a pretty ridiculous cast here. Jodie Turner-Smith, Jeffrey Wright, Catherine Waterston, John Magaro, Richard Gere. Like it goes
Richard
on and
Gere.
on and on.
Richard Gere is the third one.
Right? Like it's really nuts. This is an interesting show. This is an adaptation of a French series. I think it's called Le Bureau or The Bureau. And it is sort of like this spy who's coming home in a way, but navigating sort of the world from the other side of the agency, right? Like he's no longer in the field, but he's amongst the operators that are processing intel and talking with other people in the field and handling out emergencies as they arise. And I think it ends up being like an extremely satisfying kind of like talky spy show with almost like a Michael Clayton-esque kind of tone to it. The way they assemble the show is like the characters will sort of move through their spaces, and the camera will do these very long zooms on them in a way where you like sort of get this larger picture of their place in the world and how they move through the chaos. And I just found the direction of the show to be really good, but like it's also got this really strong element of suspense to it. Like it's one of those like spy dramas that's really about like the fixers, the people who come in and have to figure out how to solve the situations in an urgent manner. And I don't know, I found this one to be really compelling. It's not a show where like I feel like I'm completely I have a complete understanding of the like global socio-political context that they're all operating in, but I'm with it on a scene to scene basis where there's an objective that they're trying to get done, and they're all like they handle it with like style and urgency. at the end of the day, this is like a show where Jeffrey Wright gets to like very intelligently like glower at people and give orders, and I think that's doing a lot for me. I'm finding it pretty compelling. I've heard a lot of great things about the show that it's based off of, which also leads me to think that there will be a lot going on here, and the fact that they've got, you know, Catherine Waterston in this like mostly thankless role as like as sort of the voice on the other end of the computer makes me think that like she wouldn't show up unless they had a lot more in store for her down the line. I found the first 2 episodes to be really intriguing, so I'm going to stick with this one and see how it goes.
Sounds good. A lot of good shows over on Paramount Plus. I think they also have The Landman. I started watching a little bit of that. Not bad.
Yeah.
Give them a couple of those, no problem. It's like sitting down with a 6-pack, Zach. All of a sudden, next thing you know, it's done. It's wrapped. You're watching Tulsa King.
Wow.
Paramount, a bunch of shows that are just not getting the attention they deserve because they have the crappiest platform. But nonetheless, another recommendation in case you've got the Plus, The Mountain. I was on the other P side of things over on Prime, where they have a pop culture Jeopardy hosted by the one and only Colin Jost, who is realizing very quickly, bro, I got to take a lot of these roles in order to make up when SNL's not around. He has been doing this for Peacock. I think he had one, maybe it might not be Netflix. There was another show, and now he's got this as well. I know you have another SNL star that you really like, the really kooky one. I know you know what I'm talking about, bro. She's Jewish.
Oh, Sarah Sherman. My girl.
Double thinking about that. She's got another one on Max. It's even dumber than this. You know what it is?
Oh yeah, I saw that clip going around of a dude racing against a hamster or whatever. That show looks like a 30 Rock clip come to life.
Zach is of course talking about Human versus Hamster over on Max, where his girl Sarah Sherman, who's great in it, eccentric outfits. I saw an episode of this.
Yeah,
look at her. Come on, she's great in it.
It seems like a great fit for it.
Her humor is exactly what the show needs. At the end of the day, it's still a human versus a hamster. So could Pop Culture Jeopardy bring in a little bit more?
You a Jeopardy guy?
I like Jeopardy. I based my Cineclash very much on Jeopardy. Right. I can't say that I'm quiz lady, like I'm mopping that. But Pop Culture Jeopardy, bro, those things came on. Everyone was quiet. Beep beep. What is 20 feet of stardom, baby? Even Alita was impressed. She's like, how'd you know that? Hey. I was like, come on. Yeah, how'd you do in that first round?
I mean, what do you think, man? Good. I ran the table. My biggest question is the show is why do they have 3-person teams and why am I by myself better than all of them?
Mopping them.
How
do the rules work? Who gets it when they plug in? Is there like they all get to plug in and there's the next time to speak?
Do you, me, and Amanda need to compete on this show?
We would mop this. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We probably wouldn't even be invited back with what we throw at Colin. It's not a bad show.
Yeah.
Host definitely needs to be a little tighter. I am not a Colin Jost or the other guy hater. I'm actually not. Yeah. I tune in. He's okay.
Yeah.
He's not like I got to boot him, but he could be a little bit better. And the groups can be a little bit more energetic as well. I find myself seeing a lot of questions where, like you just said, 3 teams, 9 people, and not one can get it.
That's the thing, right? Like
that ruins the show.
Yeah, it's pretty surprising. I wonder why they're going with that because, like, you know, Jeopardy, they have 3 contestants across a wide range of topics. You'd think that, like, if it's pop culture specific, they'd find 3 people who are knowledgeable enough. And I think sometimes, I think sometimes having 9 contestants is almost like overwhelming. Like what's fun about Jeopardy is like getting to know a little bit of the personalities of the 3 people who are on.
Great point. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I don't know if I love that aspect to it, but I mean, Jeopardy is the only show that I DVR every episode of. I love Jeopardy, and
really,
and you know me, I got some pop culture trivia. I got some fun facts. So this is a show that I feel like is very much made for me.
I know you DVR'd.
It's the only one I do.
You've never missed an episode of Jeopardy?
I don't watch every single one, but I got them there just in case.
Wow, I've never seen an episode of Jeopardy with you. Maybe once. Like I'm trying to recall you and I staying at a hotel. We're getting continental breakfast. Jeopardy's on, and you're going crazy. And I'm just like so invested in the biscuits or something that I had never.
I'll throw it on in the Sundance House this year.
Bro, every day. Now I know why you got a 3:00 alarm.
You are right that like
Oh,
Jost is like
wow.
solid, but he feels a little bit tight. I wonder how much of that is just gonna like become more natural as they go through more episodes of the show and it
Yeah.
becomes a little bit more second nature. But like he's charming enough and he seems to know a little bit. He seems to know a decent amount of pop culture stuff, which I think is like a good requirement for the job. I don't know if you
Crazy.
caught the episode where they had to issue a correction because the answer was
Sundance?
yes. Yo, shout out film critic Jordan Hoffman, who was the contestant on that episode. I'm sure he was at that Sundance premiere.
Jordan Hoffman complains on Twitter. Jordan Hoffman?
Yeah, Jordan Hoffman on Twitter.
Was him?
That was fucking him.
Then we can get on the show.
Right.
How did he get on the show?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
How do you miss that many?
On Pop Culture Jeopardy.
Wow, Stuckman wouldn't have missed that many. Crazy. Wow, I didn't even recognize the man.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I got to watch a couple more. I know you were that invested in it. You agree with me to be on the Alex Trebek stage, one of the greatest hosts to have ever lived.
Mm-hmm.
Need a little bit more, but it is not bad. I like the questions that they're putting together. There was one category I did not care for. They had another voice come in, and it was like I am this, but I am that, and I was like, it did not make any sense. I'm trying to recall it a little bit more, but there's another category where you had to do math. Jordan's number minus something else. And it's like, I like what is Jordan's number to something else, but then they made you do like 23 minus 7 and all these, they had multipliers. And I was like, all right, you're doing a little bit too much with that.
Too much. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think they could get this running for a little bit. It's not bad.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be tuning in.
Gets my thumbs up for sure. So you got 2 pilot previews right there in the agency and Pop Culture Jeopardy. Will be coming up, with more reviews and more pilot previews. For next week, I got a couple of the shows that were released or premiered while we were off. But before we get into the picks for the week and the coming attractions, our final big category for our topic of the week, I got 2 movie news for you. Give me your yay or nay. And then we'll get into the big one, which is the Golden Globes and how they did. I'm going in as blind as possible for that. So before we hop onto that one, my first thing to pick up here is this bit with the Hollywood Reporter reporting on a change that has happened. Critics' Choice. I keep thinking it's the Emmys. The Critics' Choice, the honorable Critics' Choice, has changed the rules for what it considers a TV show for best comedy.
Well, it's for the best talk show prize.
And now his is considered a comedy show?
Yeah.
And not a talk show, which is unfair for them to compete. So in this controversy, the last week tonight, people said, screw you, we don't need it. Which, mind you, they've won so many real Emmys.
Right.
They don't need it.
Yeah, they don't need a Critics' Choice Award. Like, in the end of the day, what is winning the Critics' Choice Award to John
A Critics'
Oliver?
Choice Award is something you could like email a whole list of people to see if they can get your favorite pop star to join, really.
Yeah, you can, fly 50 critics out first class to LA and win the award off that.
And win the award. It's that simple. I think this is funny on the side of last week tonight for someone to set up a rule for them to be like, oh honey, you like give out cheap cover coded award. Like, we don't need you. Right. Your system is based off us, not the other way around.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it speaks to what are like the weird nuances of awarding TV shows, right? Because unlike film, there's just so many more like types of TV. And it doesn't feel quite right for Last Week Tonight to be competing with like Only Murders in the Building, but I also understand why it shouldn't be competing with like shows that are more based on interviews. Like, I think fundamentally John Oliver is doing a different thing than Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Fallon are.
Or Daily Show. Like, who does he interview?
Right.
It is a bit, and I think it should be nominated in a category within that self. It should be in sketches before it's in anything else. He does enough in his talk show where bits do appear. I think there's a lot of finagling happening there, but I think there's also this overview that you could see on the award shows. I think if I were to name you some award shows, you will have the dislikes that come to mind first, right? Like when you think of the Oscars, people don't like the Oscars because they think they're too pompous. Whatever other words may come to your mind. I feel like the Hollywood Foreign Press and the Globes has been the Critics' Choice for the real up and ups.
Mm-hmm.
The people who, as long as you hang out with them, will give you a Globe. The Critics' Choice, as we've seen every year, is your regular critics, your schmucks or whatever, getting that Hollywood foreign press lifestyle.
Right.
Every year when you see Margot Robbie taking a picture next to somebody she would have never been caught with, it's because they corral these celebrities with all these critics. These critics and interviewers think they're making friends. They are not. Those celebrities are smiling with you because that picture and pumping you up is what gets them awards and everything else. And what you're seeing here is someone who doesn't need to play by that game. So I find that funny because I'm not seeing a controversy of like the rules and the legality. I'm seeing the Critics' Choice going, well, you bend the knee to what we have. And Last Week Tonight going, you guys aren't anything. But they think there's something. You ever see an interviewer think they're friends with the person they're interviewing?
Right. Way too
You're
often.
not, buddy.
Yeah.
You're not. They got that grandparent effect. You don't
celebrity.
get to see the celebrity. They don't know you. It's business.
Yeah.
This is bad business. I would not piss off the winners who have held something that long.
Definitely.
Not good. Not good. But we'll be taking all that as we get into the Golden Globes. Right before that, though, we have another one for one of the biggest franchises. Harry Potter is looking to become a TV series. Yay or nay right off the bat?
I mean, it's complicated. I guess I'm going to go nay just because I think the presence and memory of those movies is too vivid. You know, you tell me Harry Potter and I see Daniel Radcliffe. Like it's just, it's hard to, it's hard to make something like that in the shadow of something else. But, you know, people love.
They do it all the time.
Yeah, people do it all the time and people love this series. And, you know, fundamentally, I think the idea of turning what is like a book series that is full of detail and, you know, subplots and stuff like that, it makes a little more sense to turn it into a TV show than a series of movies. Like that was I was never a big Harry Potter book reader, but my friends who were would always complain about the things they didn't put in the movies.
Details, yeah, easily. And for that, I mean, you tell me a name, but you give me a lot of yays right there. I'm going yay because I think it would make for a great adaptation. And like 007, before they decide to choose another one, another Joker, another Batman, we just need to get over that hump. And the moment you do, it becomes another Shakespeare. And no one bats an eye when you're remaking a Macbeth, Hamlet, all these other things. I'm not going to put it all the way up there, but for a franchise that big, all you need is someone else to kill it in a Harry Potter, a Snape role. And all of a sudden people are like, let's go. And You're right. As a TV series, people will be coming in every week going, that's a detail we didn't know. And book reader, it's beautiful. It's like, I don't know. I feel everything is there for it to work minus the baggage, but everything's got baggage, Zach. I don't know. I don't know.
And that's the thing is like J.K. Rowling has said some like really virulent stuff like about trans people in general. And it just makes adapting her properties feel like that much more distasteful. Like it would be really nice if they could do this divorced from her, but that also just doesn't seem like a realistic possibility.
It feels, like very impossible to do that. I agree with you. And you're also dealing with that factor of like, how much can you take away from her before you're like, well, you don't deserve it. Well, now we're going to break copyright laws. And we can't do that to JK because then it becomes a ripple effect for everything else. But there is a way still to kind of invert it and have it be pro the things that she's against. I think that could be fascinating. We'll see how that goes. Speaking of, Fantastic Beasts already failed. They're stopping those, as from what I remember from one of the articles that came out there. Like that didn't even become big news to say it has been halted. The Dark Universal Monsters had a bigger announcement when they ended that than Fantastic Beasts with 3 movies in. Yeah. So how are you feeling here? Do you have somebody else in mind? I think getting elevated actors like this to me showcases. So they're looking to do some good.
You brought up the article that's saying Papa Asedu, who I remember mostly from I May Destroy You. He was also in Alex Garland's Men. They're eyeing him to play Severus Snape. There's also some rumors out there that I think Mark Rylance and Mark Strong are being considered for the role of Dumbledore.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Yeah. And all good actors all feel like good choices. You know, I know there's some people who find like the idea of race swapping Severus Snape to be controversial, or the idea of because people always complain about that shit, right? And I know
there's not a reason here. It's not like he came from the Alps or something.
I don't know enough about Snape particularly to say that. Although I know there are also people complaining the other way about making one of the more, I don't know, controversial characters in the series black this time is also a bad look. Everybody's got complaints about
really.
Yeah.
So I can't comment on the first one because I don't know Severus Snape's background. I was a Viking. The second part though is weird to me because I've always been against that. I hate this idea that you can't have a nuanced character played. by a black
And-
person, a trans person, any minority of any kind. It's like, those
Yeah.
are the meaty roles. You're just saying, don't get meaty roles.
Right.
Ah, good one.
Right. And like, I'm not a Harry Potter scholar by any means, but isn't that like the whole thing with Snape, is that he's like a very
Yeah,
complex character?
Spoilers, Zach, but yeah, that's the whole bit. The most beloved person. It's why we're
Yeah.
talking about him before we're talking about anybody else. Yeah,
Exactly, yeah.
I saw it as a good option, in my opinion, because that
do too.
character does hold so much. This is an actor who can get that out.
Yeah, I do find it very interesting that all these bits of news we're getting about potential actors, it's not that they've been cast, it's that they're being eyed, or they're being targeted, or they're being considered. Do you feel like actors are waiting until somebody actually commits to the project before committing themselves?
No, it's like, okay, maybe. But Juan Soto also was being rumored, was being this, and he got it, you know. So
Yeah,
maybe that'll be here too. I mean, it's all going to be a matter of, can they make it all come back into place, because the behind the scenes stories to the original series for Harry Potter, what Christopher Columbus did, they have a documentary, and it's been covered multiple times, but they have a really good doc on HBO Max to see how they went about casting. They need the exact same care that they did there for how they cast the children, how they take care of the children, pre, post, all of it. And especially with what actors they bring in to bond with the kids. So it's going to be a really important casting thing beyond the creative.
Yeah, particularly if they choose to do any race swapping with the young actors as well. Like, that could be.
Oh, they have another element. Yeah, as we've seen from Disney and everything else.
Such a tumultuous situation. And I feel like 8 seasons of a TV show is even a bigger lift than, 8 movies. So it that potentially is another reason against doing this. Like, they struck gold with the child actors they had last time. Can they find people who can live up to that? It's easy in theory, but then we see all the Netflix adaptations of anime shows, and you don't always cast the right kids.
Yeah, I think they'll do better in casting, and more than that, I think they may actually have a successful show. So with those out of the way right there for movie news, let us know your thoughts down below, or any other stuff that you would like us to comment on as we move on to the big part of this week, and that is breaking down the Golden Globe nominations that just got announced this morning. So to me, they're as fresh as can possibly be. I think Zach may have taken a little gander. Yeah, we're going to play some yay or nay here, talk about what were the flubs, snubs, what was good, what we would nominate, all that good stuff as we begin here, just right off the bat with the biggest one. Best Motion Picture Drama. For those who need the recap, Golden Globes, not as serious as the Oscars. And they do split theirs, not just between movies and TV, but the movies get comedy and musical and then drama. So there's more at play here to nominate, which is, I think, why we laugh at the Globes the most. You get double the nominations and you still get less of the right picks.
Right. And it's not even just double. They're going 6 deep in most of these categories. So there's going to be 12 lead actors nominated instead of just 5.
Well, let's go right off the bat. Golden Globes, yay or nay, really quick before we talk about it. We've got A Complete Unknown. I haven't seen it.
I like
yay or nay?
I did like it.
Conclave. 2 yays right here for Conclave.
Let's go.
Dune, 2 for Dune. Nickel Boys, 2 for Dune. I got the 1 for September 5th.
Yeah, I'll give it it's not my favorite movie in this category, but it's solid.
And a cemented thumbs up for The Brutalist.
Yeah. In fact, now that we're looking at these nominees, September 5th might be my least favorite in this category, but it doesn't mean I think.
And I think that's a solid movie, and I agree with you. I see nothing wrong with this list. What is missing?
So what most people will say is the movie that's missing here is Sing Sing. And that is one of the big.
Sing Sing or Nickel Boys?
I go Nickel Boys personally.
And I like Sing Sing, so what do we
September 5th, people that seems to be the one that
they haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I have not seen September 5th to be able to say that.
And same with The Complete Unknown. I mean, I personally kind of, I don't know. I like Sing Sing. I don't love it. I'm not heartbroken by it being
because I
left
out. I don't see one to switch it out with, and I like it. Well, I think this is pretty solid. Anything else?
What else is there?
Challengers. Unless we're considering that comedy.
Yeah, that's spoiler for the comedy section.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm trying to think of any other dramas that must have been in here.
I think you could go down to like Gladiator 2, but I don't know if that really.
That's pretty low, Zach. Yeah. I don't know about that one.
Let's
all right. Well,
get in.
Nah,
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of that one. I'm saying no. I think this is pretty solid. So
Yeah,
far,
same.
Golden Globes, you're starting off pretty good. I then
Yeah.
ask you the question after a yays or nays. What'd you pick?
If you're asking me what I think is gonna win, I feel like I might go Brutalist here. And if you're asking me what I want to win, I kind of want to see Nickel Boys take it.
I think all of these. I haven't seen A Complete Unknown, but I think that one's gonna be worthy of it. Obviously, I love Dune. Nickel Boys is definitely one that should win. I don't see honestly the Brutalist or September 5th snatching up awards as much as it is them showing up, paying their dues, and that's it.
Right.
I'm going to 2 for Conclave. I want it and I need it, and it's going to Conclave Hive all the way.
Not Dune? I thought you were a Dune boy.
If Dune wins, I'm gonna pretend like I said Dune the entire time. We can just say no, no lose for me. When you put money on the other team and your team still wins, you still won. I would love Dune to win. That's what I'm saying. All of these, if they won, I'd have absolutely no problem. But I would go ecstatic out of all of them for a Conclave. I've already dealt with a Dune loss. The Conclave Hive, let's do it. Golden Globes for Best Musical or Comedy. We've got A Real Pain, yay or nay?
Oh, definitely yay.
Big yay. Anora. Big yay.
Big
I mean,
yay.
we got all yays, bro. Challengers. Big yay. And then we hit it. Emilia Perez, I heard, has a record for Golden Globe nominations. 10?
Yeah, I think it's a record for a comedy or a musical. 10 nominations.
Not just the most this year. The most nominated comedy or musical in Golden Globe. We not okay. I guess
Yeah.
I get it now. We're not being serious. I'm not going thumbs down, but I'm going on Emilia.
Yeah, I'll
Are you going
meet
thumbs?
you there. I'll meet you at on Emilia.
Because there's a lot of thumbs down. I get that.
Yeah,
But I'm still on this pick. Substance.
yeah, big thumbs up.
I'm gonna double up on musicals maybe, but I'm going Are you going thumbs?
Yeah, I'll say for Wicked. I mean, I think there's a case to be made that
This is where it could win.
It will not only that it could win here, but that like the same way that Dune is like the big blockbuster recognized in the drama category, that they get one blockbuster here in comedy and musical as well. Because as much as we love Challengers and Anora, those movies made like a penny compared to Wicked's box office returns.
Mhm.
So
my Dolby ticket for Wicked is what A Real Pain made at the box office, I think.
Exactly, right? So like there's that there. I just don't think personally, I don't think Wicked is as good as the rest of the movies here. I'm not
for a Globe win.
I'm not entirely sure what I would replace it with.
No, I think this is exactly where it should be nominated. I'm more side-eyeing Emilia Perez than I am Wicked, but we'll keep discussing that since it got 10.
So now that we've seen both categories, a couple other movies that didn't get in here. Piano Lesson, which I think you've seen, Room Next Door, which I'm not sure if you have, neither The Wild Robot or Inside Out 2, which people always hope gets into Best Picture. Nosferatu to me is the best movie that didn't get into either category.
They didn't get it. They got hit the same way I got hit. They ain't got no screeners of Hollywood Foreign Press.
Yeah, I mean, Hard doesn't usually do well at these awards, but you see the substance in there, so it's possible.
Substance is right there, yeah. And to be honest with you, the substance in Nosferatu, I would think that they would lead Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what love they've shown them in the past as well.
Yeah. Assad following in the live stream says A Different Man. I totally think that deserves a slot. You mentioned the Gothams earlier. That was a
surprise win.
The surprise.
I told you since Sundance. I said don't look the other way on this movie. That would be a surprising one to get. But I'm gonna be honest. Anora and A Real Pain got in there. That is one where you are gonna have to sacrifice between the two. And the same way that we're talking about horrors, Substance or Nosferatu, it feels like they're picking one over the other. And I'd be really surprised which one they double up. The double indie, the double musical, the double horror. We're kind of seeing it here. Look, I'm okay if Wicked wins this one, even if it's not my favorite. My 4 to go would be A Real Pain, Anora, Challengers, and The Substance. Those 4 I think are solid movies. A Real Pain is my favorite, but the coolest win is Substance. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, I mean, I expect Anora to win. I'll be happy when it does.
Anora, is the expected.
I will be pumping my fist if A Real Pain, Challengers, or The Substance could win. The Challengers, particularly, I think would be a really
that
dope
would be
win.
Awesome. Yeah. So again, not the worst. It makes sense to me.
Yeah. Mark in the live stream.
Baby, this is great. Okay, sorry. Go.
No, I was gonna say Mark in the live stream also saying Hitman, my old ass, Idea of You could potentially get in there for comedy or musical. I could definitely see Hitman as one of the worthy nominees this year.
Hitman, yeah. All right, moving on to best motion picture animated. This is outstanding. This is great.
It's a hell of a lineup.
No, this is a great lineup. I see nothing to change here. They fit in Flow and Memoir of a Snail, 2 festival picks that we've really been enjoying. Inside Out 2 was a hit. Moana 2, a smash, as we've seen, even if it's not our favorite there. Wild Robot, a surprise hit. And I think the only one we're missing here is the Wallace and Gromit movie, because that comes out right at the beginning of the year, January 3rd.
Mm-hmm. I saw that one. It's good. It's delightful.
Where the hell did you see this?
Netflix sent me an invite. I know people.
Okay. Would you put it above any of these?
Yeah, I would put it above Moana 2 and maybe even above Inside Out 2 as well.
Yeah, but you would not put it above. I think you and I are split on this one. I think the world wants the Wild Robot.
That's true.
But you want one.
I want Flow.
And I want another one.
Memoir.
I think I'm going with Memoir of a Snail. That's my pick out of these. I know Zach really loved Flow coming out. Also a fantastic pick. I'm honestly very happy with this. Other than probably Moana, I'd be very excited to see Flow, Wild Robot, or Memoir be announced. I haven't seen the Wallace one yet, but I mean, it's Wallace and Gromit. I kind of like them.
So, yeah, the Oscars only nominate 5 movies. You're hoping we get this exact lineup minus Moana 2?
That's right. So here's where you're saying that we're getting the 6. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All these categories going 6. Yeah, I see Wallace getting the cut out of these 5, if I'm being honest. I would love for it to be Moana, but in a realistic world, Wallace takes the cut over Moana so that I can keep Memoir, Flow, and Wild Robot in there.
I agree with you. Like, if we're just talking what is going to happen, that feels more likely. But what I would want, I would want Moana to be the one sacrificed here. Just a quick shout out to some movies that did not make the cut. Piece by Piece, that upcoming Lord of the Rings animated film that I know a bunch of people are excited for. Transformers 1, which you said you enjoyed. And
I did.
I think it's a G Kids movie, Look Back. Every year it feels like there's at least one import from Japan that's a strong contender, and I know people really like that one.
It's on Prime or Max. We've been getting that one recommended. I'm gonna have to check that one out probably tonight. But this is a solid list. Memoir of a Snail. Watch it if you can.
Absolutely.
All right, now we got the best motion picture for non-English language. We have, as we yay or nay it. Oh my gosh, Emilia. All right, All We Imagine Is Light. I'm going with the yay here. This one out of Cannes. I think it's pretty good, but it has not been the one I've been championing all the way, but I still like it. Thumbs up for me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It's fine.
Emilia Perez, I'll admit on there. I'm still here.
Yeah. Wait, were you talking about Emilia, or I was trying to Google something?
All We Imagine Is Light.
Oh, I still haven't caught up with that one. My bad.
That one's pretty good. Emilia Perez out on Netflix. I'm Still Here. I got to catch the Chicago International Film Festival. It is a submission from Brazil. It is based off of a true story. And I am not just going as this one for my tied up pick right now. I'm going for this one as one of the best performances with the lead. I think she is really good. I think this one needs to be on more people's radar. I've seen the campaigning for this really come out from the Brazilian cinephiles. They really are standing behind this one, and I think it is a very solid pick so far. A standout for me here because I have not seen The Girl with the Needle, a movie that I believe Caitlin caught. She absolutely loved. It is out in limited right now and is meant to be coming out on Mubi. So I've been very limited with that one. I'm glad I got the nomination here because I'm anticipating it. Can't speak too much on it. But Seed of a Sacred Fig is the only one competing with I'm Still Here. That is a fantastic ensemble, a great movie that's pretty much split into 2 halves between making a hybrid of all the protests and devastation that's happening over in Iran and then showcasing what that does to a family. I'm pretty torn between there. Either of those 2 can win. I feel like the Seed of a Sacred Fig, that man's probably not even allowed over here. And then Vermiglio is Italy submission, and it's pretty good. I caught that one at Chicago. It is more of a personal tale. Out of all of these, it's probably the most impeccably made one in terms of getting that time period right. But again, I'm doubling it up here. I'm Still Here, Seed of a Sacred Fig. I can go either way there. I don't know if you have a preference.
I'd probably go Seed of the Sacred Fig, but yeah, like a pretty strong lineup. I need to catch up with Girl with the Needle, and I need to rewatch. I told you I was super sleepy for I'm Still Here.
But, it's a very depressing movie, so for sure. That goes there. I see some pick. Asad saying Evil Does Not Exist was good too. I agree. I would replace it for a couple here. Emilia, Bye, All We Imagine, even Vermiglio, to be honest. I think it's a solid film.
let's put a pin in that comment on All We Imagine Is Light. A couple movies that are potential contenders that also didn't get nominated. Santosh, How to Make Millions Before Grandma Dies, Suho, Reinas. Any of those jump out to you as films that could have or should have been here as well?
Off of international movies?
Cloud, the Kurosawa one.
The Cloud one is pretty good. Let me check on my list very quickly over here. Because it's also, remind me, the same thing for when it comes to the Oscars of what is considered a foreign film?
No, so
the country needs to submit, or anybody?
The way the Oscars do it is the country has to submit it. The way the Globes do it, it just has to be a movie that is at least 50% non in English. That's how movies like Minari end up in this category.
Gotcha. So Substance would not have counted because it's technically not.
Yes, it is not.
It's mostly in English.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, I would have put Blackbird, Blackberry, depending on what the time for that release would have been. La Quimera is not considered international.
I think that might have been a 2023 movie, but that's a great one.
Gotcha, because the way it gets released. Sleep would not have been. I don't think that was a nominee for that country. Red Rooms, I believe, was a nominee for that country, but again, we're dealing with horror. Hundreds of Beavers, that's foreign language. That's not English. It's not English.
Yeah, it's in beaver speak.
I am 100% picking Evil Does Not Exist, as was previously mentioned. In Flames was another really good pick that came out of TIFF. Touch was getting a little bit of a boost here and there. So those would just be some of the picks off the top of my head.
Nice.
All right. All We Imagine Is Light is coming back up, you said?
We'll get to it.
All right. Hell yeah, we did it. We did it, folks. Best performance by a female actor in a motion picture drama. Angelina Jolie will be coming out in 2 days on Netflix for Maria. You tell me, yay or nay on this pick?
She's very good in the movie. The movie's just okay.
So good for her performance.
Yeah.
2 thumbs up, like I said, for Fernanda for I'm Still Here. She's doing a great job. I want to see her get that Oscar nomination as well. I have Lee ready to go, but I have not seen it yet. Does Kate Winslet deserve a spot?
I think a lot of people are upset because this is sort of like this year's Oscar campaign out of nowhere one. What's her name?
Is it out of nowhere? This thing came out 2 years for you. You saw it 2 years ago.
I've been on this movie. Is it Fran Fisher, the woman who helped Andrea Riseborough get her nomination a couple of years ago?
Hey, I don't know. I know her moves.
She's hosting screenings for Lee and Kate Winslet this year.
She's back?
She's back. So I think there are people who are a bit resentful of Kate Winslet's presence here, but let me just remind you, Kate Winslet, pretty fucking great actress.
Yeah, and good in this movie?
Very good in this movie. And honestly, I think deserves to be here.
Damn, that's crazy. A little sidebar. I went back to find out that Wicked never won the Tony.
Yeah.
Do you know what it went to?
Remind me.
Avenue Q, a puppet show.
It's a good show.
But I didn't know that. So I'm like, what you mean y'all let Wicked lose? Same thing happened. They finagled it. Instead of thousands of voters, the Tonys had 700. They found a way to meet up with all of them, and they won the award. This lady got away with it once. I thought got in trouble and changed the rules. You're telling me they're going back with her again? This is like that one lawyer who's dealt with nothing but boot cases, and the next person hires them, knowing good and well that the article's going to say they hired Johnny Depp's lawyer. Good for her. I guess she got the Golden Globe. I'm going to be honest. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't speak.
Right.
But there's got to be more options when we get to the Oscars. Because right off the bat, I'm already excited with this next one. Nicole Kidman, Baby Girl. Thumbs up.
Big thumbs up. I
very good job there.
I began to become skeptical about whether or not she would actually be a factor in award season. This was a nice reminder that she might be.
That's good. Yeah. Very well deserved, but no movie, I guess, nomination for it. Yeah. Pamela, what the hell? Again, these are very new for me. Last Showgirl, I have not seen.
I feel like people wanted this to be a bigger Oscar contender, and then it kind of got like a mediocre response at TIFF. I saw it. I thought it was pretty good. It's basically like The Wrestler, but for, the Showgirl, and it's sort of about...
That's on the cover, right?
Yeah. And it's, she's able to put a lot of her own angst from her career into this performance, because it is about this person who's really dedicated to her craft even as the world passes her by. It's a good performance. I don't know if it's necessarily what I would pick, but I'm not upset to see her there either.
Interesting. Okay, still got to keep an eye out on this one that should be coming out late in the year. But you also did get to catch this one, I believe, in New York, The Room Next Door for Tilda Swinton.
Yes, and she's excellent in the movie, as I think Tilda Swinton always is. I
Mhm.
kind of prefer Julianne Moore in the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, I think she has a pretty more interesting part. I think they're both being campaigned as lead as well, so she should be here. But I'm not terribly upset by the Tilda Swinton thing. I guess my main thing is I'm upset that among these women, Marianne Jean Baptiste didn't make the cut, because to me,
Terrible.
her performance clears all of them.
Honora?
I mean, Honora is comedy. I don't know if Hard Truths would have been considered comedy, because it is pretty funny. But I honestly, I take her over Mikey Madison. I think that it's a really special performance in Hard Truths.
Wait. Oh, for Hard Truths. Yeah. Damn,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, from what we got, what's your pick?
From what we got in this category, personally, I kind of want to see Nicole Kidman win this one. It repeated dope if Fernanda Torres won it as well.
Yeah, I'm going Fernanda for I'm Still Here.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Any other picks that you would have done for drama?
Best actress in a drama. That's a lot of them. I mean,
Amy
Florence
Adams.
Pugh in We Live in Time. I don't know if I go there. Kristen Dunst in Civil War.
Some
Lily Rose
Furiosa love.
Depp. Lily Rose Depp is great in Nosferatu.
So that could have been in there. I
That
saw the
could have
TV glow, I guess, but they wouldn't. That one that'd be supporting, and I don't know if they would go under
Right.
actress. I just from a long shot. I used to be funny, obviously a comedy.
Right.
Challengers. I don't know where they're putting that. I thought she was going to
Comedy.
count. Maybe I'm wrong, and it appears later. Substance is also being done as a comedy.
Assad is saying Naomi Scott in Smile 2. It's a really good performance.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I would have put that in there for sure.
Mhm.
Civil War. None of the people from Civil War. I would have put Kate Winslet over a couple of people that I see here.
Mhm.
Kate Winslet. What's her name?
Kristen Dunst.
Kristen Dunst.
Yeah.
Seat of the Sacred Fig actresses in here.
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
able to get I'm Still Here in there. Oh, a couple stuff in there. All right. Moving on to the next one. We have Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Motion Picture Drama. Adrian Brody, The Brutalist. Big thumbs up.
Absolutely. Double thumb up there.
Colman Domingo Sing Sing is been a thumbs up.
Yeah. Any reservations I have about Sing Sing are not to do with him. He's a brilliant actor.
Yeah. Daniel Craig Queer.
You haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure you will be in support of his performance. He's great.
So you thumbs up?
Thumbs up.
Ralph Fiennes, I mean, it's one of my favorites of the year. I'm a Conclave for sure. Locked in. And then just some incredible performances here as well. Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice. He could have gotten one for this. He could have gotten one for Different Man. I think he gives he puts more work in for The Apprentice. Even though I think he's more consistent in A Different Man. Because he is also performing with makeup on his face.
Well, I think Different Man is considered comedy musical, so you might want to put a pin in that one as well.
I'm talking too much, bro. And then Timothy Chalamet, A Complete Unknown, which I'm assuming you'd give the thumbs up for.
I would as well. Yeah.
All right, time to pick.
From these actors, I kind of really was blown away by that Adrian Brody performance. To me, that's the heavyweight here. I do think Timmy is quite good in A Complete Unknown, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him win it, because I feel like biopics tend to do well in awards conversations, but to me, it's Adrian Brody's to lose.
Wow. Got to see Craig and Timmy. Loved Ralph Fiennes and Brody. They're really standouts. Would you hate me if I said that in both Conclave and The Brutalist, great films, they are not the best parts of that movie? Their movies? I think they're supporting actors.
Interesting.
Mop it, bro.
I hear you with Conclave, but I don't know if I'm with you on Brutalist.
No, bro. Memento.
Yeah, he's great. I think he's every bit as good as Brody, but Guy Pearce is fantastic.
Guy Pearce is unbelievably good. Okay, so you said your lock is Brody?
Yeah.
I'm going my lock, Colman Domingo.
Ooh.
I think he is the most consistent throughout. I'm happy to see Sebastian Stan have someone talk to him finally and get a nomination here. Can you imagine he continues to get nominations and people are not going to talk to him for The Apprentice? But we got that Adrian Brody, Colman Domingo for the Globe nominations. Hopefully both of those secure their Oscars as well. We move on to the best performance by a female actor, motion picture, music, or comedy supporting is for all of them combined, right?
Yes, they don't
Gotcha.
divide
Okay.
for supporting.
So last leads here in musical or comedy. Let's try to change it back to what we were just saying. Amy Adams, her comedy is undervalued. She gets the nomination right here, and even then, I'm going like a 3/4.
Yeah, look,
Amy
Adams, even in bad
it.
movies,
Well,
Amy
like right
Adams
there.
is good. But
and I'm happy.
Amy Adams has also been a lot better in a lot of movies.
I like how we were upset, right? The idea of like, Nightbitch isn't the award winner. Then it gets a nomination, and you're like, what are you doing wasting another slot? Get out of here. She's good in it.
Yeah.
Look, I'm happy with the Cynthia Erivo Wicked. I don't think there's another line I'm going to hear from an actress as much as one that isn't even in English, and it's just a belting of that one note. Hey, it fits it for me. I'm glad to see her in here. Demi Moore, very happy to see her in here. Yep. Carla from Emilia Perez makes it.
Absolutely. I feel like
good
that's
for her.
History. I'm not positive, but I want to say that's
not
history.
Sure. Yeah. Mikey Madison and Zendaya.
Really happy Zendaya made the cut there. I wish some more of the challengers actors did, but that is great too. That all said, it's Mikey Madison's category to lose. It'd be really dope if Demi Moore snuck up and took it from her. But
challengers?
I mean, honestly, I don't think Zendaya is better than Mikey Madison. Like, I think that the thing with challengers,
would you be happy with it?
I don't know, because I don't know if that's what
I want to see her win for the role.
Right. Like, to me, challengers is more Josh O'Connor's movie than hers. She's solid in it, but like Mikey Madison owns that part in Honora. It's such a star-making performance. That kind of feels like the one.
I agree with you.
Here.
If Demi won for The Substance, I think that would be cool. If Cynthia won for Wicked, I also think that would be cool. But not as cooler if she won it next year with bigger competition, as opposed to beating out what we consider the best one. And that's clearly Mikey Madison for Honora.
Some of the actresses who didn't get nominated are Saoirse Ronan for The Outrun, June Squibb for Thelma.
Yes.
Who else do we got here? Florence Pugh for We Live in Time. Any of those jump out to you as people who potentially should or could have been in here? Anya Taylor-Joy for Furiosa.
No, won't be a no.
Yeah, to me, Marianne Jean-Baptiste is the real tragedy.
I don't understand how that's not in here at all. Yeah. Like, that's literally her whole movie. Like, the pitch to that movie is, do you want to push your acting chops? Like, that makes no sense to me. But okay. Golden Globe for musical or comedy lead actor. We've got my boy Gabriel LaBelle.
He made it.
Oh, what it is about this kid. It's like we're seeing our boy get out. It's like I'm seeing Chase up there.
Yeah, that's my son right there.
I'm giving it the half right there. I'm not mad about it. I can't give him a thumbs down, but I'm not. Yeah.
Look,
I'm happy he's in there.
I feel like Saturday Night is like a Golden Globes ass movie. Like, I don't think it should be an Oscar contender. But this is kind of like, it's solid for something like this.
Give them their 5 minutes, bro. Okay. Yeah. Y'all got Hitman, Glenn Powell and Hitman. If you cannot get the movie or the script, why not the charisma that actually put it up on screen? That's a good one.
Yeah, your boy.
A heretic Mr. Notting Hill himself.
Yeah. I mean, look he sells that movie. That movie is a much worse movie with a different performance.
Yeah. Spoiler for me. Anything else Heretic got, or is this it? Because I wouldn't give it to movie.
This is it.
Okay. This feels right. Honestly, we had a conversation. I think it was on Alina's birthday, right before she had gotten sick. We were talking about Heretic, and we went on for an hour. I was like, well, I'm not gonna waste my time talking about Heretic on your birthday. So we'll put a pin on it. He's like, but you don't hate it, right? I was like, we just wasted an hour talking about it. So clearly there's something in Heretic that I can't stop thinking about.
Right.
And that goes for Hugh Grant right there. So hey, I like that one. Good lock in.
Yeah.
Jesse Eisenberg for.
I was just gonna say we talk about how like sometimes it's nice when one aspect of a movie gets rewarded, right? Like I don't think Heretic should be a multi-nominee, but that Hugh Grant performance is worth nominating.
Right. And usually awards don't do that if you don't have everything else coming with it. This is an Intercut Awards ass pick right here.
Yes.
This is what you should expect coming up next year around February. Jesse Eisenberg, though, definitely a lock in for me. A great performance to see the nomination for. I'm curious to see if there's a real pain stuff. Because I think besides the movie, there's 2 other things that he does better in the film besides acting.
Right.
Okay. Damn, bro. The outfit in this, I was like, what is this from? Yes, Jesse Plemons, Kinds of Kindness.
I
Um,
believe he also won Best Actor at Cannes for this
for
performance.
this,
So
yeah.
yeah,
How do you feel about the anthological? Does it matter to you?
I mean, it's weird, but like I guess no weirder than somebody who is like playing actors at different or a character at different points of their life or something, right? Like I don't
Getting
know.
lead while they have a fifth of the screen time.
I,
Yeah,
I
I see
I
that.
think he's excellent in the movie, so
He is
I don't have
excellent
a
in the movie.
problem
One
with
of
it.
the
Yeah.
one of the best parts. And then honestly, look, there are some bad calls so far in the Golden Globes, but I cannot trash completely an award ceremony that is honoring Sebastian Stan in
In A
two
Different Man.
freaking great movies.
Oh yeah.
Sebastian Stan with a double one, A Different Man, and what was the other one you say?
The Apprentice.
The Trump one? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're planning a new video for our year end stuff. We're gonna talk about our guys, our people who've had the best 2024s. Sebastian
All these
Stan's gonna
boys,
be high on that list.
all these guys right here, bro. That's
Yeah.
our boy, that's our guy, that's that man. Who you locking in?
I expect this to be. Oh, that's actually a good question because
Right? You didn't even think about like you still gotta give it to one of these guys.
yeah, I kind of feel like all 6 of these actors are going to be on the outside looking in when it comes to
Yeah.
Oscars. I really want this to be Sebastian Stan's category. He is so fantastic in this movie. Um, I love Jesse Eisenberg, but I feel like it's either got to be Stan, Powell, or Grant because they're the 3 who I feel like that movie really rides on how well they're able to execute their roles.
I agree. Something about A Real Pain being the only one that's got other noms makes me feel they might stick with that. I
Right.
don't know off the top of my head the analytics for Hitman, Heretic, and A Different Man not getting other noms in just here. And if it was for that, I could go. Any of those 3 are really good. Hitman would be awesome. Good way to shout out that movie. Good thing for Glenn Powell too, dude. I think it affects Glenn Powell the most over all of them. A Glenn Powell
Oh, yeah.
speech goes farther than Hugh Grant being told he's good.
It
We
kind
know.
of cements Glenn Powell as a major movie star. Not that
Yes.
he's like not, but
like a random Globe win helps.
yeah, it's something that he doesn't have in the resume yet that would, I think,
Yeah.
bolster him a lot.
He's got a Matthew McConaughey bucket list, right? And that
Right.
would be a good thing to knock out first. Sebastian Stan doesn't even care for it. That's the thing about like people don't even want to talk to the man, so I don't think he cares about even giving a speech.
Some actors who didn't make the cut for Best Actor: John David Washington for Piano Lesson, Andrew Garfield for We Live in Time, Nicholas Hoult, juror number 2, Keith Kupfer, Ghostlight. That's somebody who, in a better version of this, I would have loved to have seen make the cut somewhere.
Timothée Chalamet for Dune.
Do you like him more? Or you haven't seen A Complete Unknown yet?
I've not seen it, bro.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give you some other ones. Exhibiting Forgiveness. I liked Andre Holland. I think he should have been there for maybe a drama.
You brought up TV Glow earlier. How about
I
Justice
did bring
Smith?
up TV Glow. Yeah, hell yeah. For that crazy shot at the end alone. Yeah, I would have put that one in there. Problemista. If we want a nice little dumb lead role. Come on.
Yeah, you like Bike Riders? You want to see Austin Butler in here?
Nah, I'll be fair. I like Bike Riders, but nah, I gotta be honest. On the outskirts for sure.
You know, it's one that I know you saw and liked. Gerald Jerome, Unstoppable. It's pretty good.
I like that in Love.
Yeah. Kingsley Ben-Adir for the Bob Marley movie, One Love.
Outskirts for sure. That would have been one where it's like, oh, of course, yeah, they were able to sneak that one in there. I'm sorry, that was too long ago.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a solid list right there. We'll keep it at that. What did we lock in? You said Hugh Grant?
I think I said Stan.
Okay, Stan. Then I'm gonna lock in Glenn Powell.
Cool. I like it.
All right, and now we get to the supporting roles for any motion picture. Got female, we got actor. We begin with the actress, Ariana Grande, Wicked, Felicity Jones, The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini, Conclave, Margaret Qualley, The Substance, Selena Gomez, Emilia Perez, Zoe Saldana, Emilia Perez. Count to 3. Who's your pick? 3, 2, 1. Qualley.
Yeah, Qualley. From these, I would be happiest to see Qualley easily. And
a lot of people like Jones.
I kind of think she's much weaker than Pierce and Brody in the movie.
I don't even want to say weaker. It's just like she's not in it enough. She comes in.
Yeah. second
I'm not
half.
gonna say like,
Yeah.
wait, come on, So for that, I don't know. I love Conclave. Isabella gives one of the greatest like speeches towards the end. I also don't think she's in it enough. I don't get what Selena's doing here. Selena gotta get in if Ariana's in.
Yeah, that's a pretty crazy one.
So this is that letterbox. When you go to the top letterbox movies, those two look like that concert film you see on that first page. That you're like, why is this all 5 stars?
Yeah.
And Zoe was good. But I gotta lock it in with quality.
Yeah. I think this is a different category. If Daniel Deadweiler gets in for Piano Lesson, I don't love that movie, but her performance is incredible in it. Also, Anjanou Ellis Taylor is so good in Nickel Boys.
Which one? And which one? In Nickel Boys? In which one? Yeah. So the Supremes? In which one, Zach? Exhibiting Forget, bro.
Yeah, all over the place, right?
Started on Anjanou Ellis this year.
And another Saoirse Ronan miss for Blitz. Some people thought she was going to end up with 2 Oscar nominations, 2 Golden Globe nominations. She right now is on 0.
His 3 daughters, bro. Where?
Yeah. Man. I think Elizabeth Olsen should be in there at least.
At least. You're going to give some to Hitman? But you're not going to give it to the girl who holds up that damn scene?
Adria Arjona absolutely could totally be in here above Selena Gomez. You haven't seen A Complete Unknown yet, but Monica Barbaro, she's
you were telling me,
incredible as Joan Baez in that movie.
I don't know about that. Was last one was TV Glow, Furiosa, Conclave. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there could have been more love going in there that way, but nonetheless, we'll see how it goes. And then our last one over here, supporting role for a motion picture for an actor. We've got Denzel Washington with that Gladiator 2 role. A lot of fun. Edward Norton, I think you said, was pretty solid for A Complete Unknown. It's my boy. Guy Pearce in The Brutalist. Jeremy Strong, I think, is the better one out of the two in The Apprentice. Kieran Culkin is my favorite performance. And then,
this is the strongest category this year, is it not? Who's the sneak? Is there a sneak? There's no sneak.
I mean, I haven't seen A Complete Unknown, but I've never seen Edward Norton sneak into anywhere.
Right?
This is solid, bro.
Yeah, and
first things first. Go.
The only thing is, again, it's 6 nominees. One of these people is going to miss out on the Oscar. Plus,
the Oscar should do 6.
We were talking about Sing Sing not getting picture earlier. Clarence Macklin,
and just won the Gotham too.
Right.
All right. First things first, Denzel Washington. Maybe it's the Globes. I don't know. Very fun role. I think it needs to be more appreciated. I've been seeing people get split with it. People be like, he doesn't belong in the movie. If he's not in the movie, bro, we ain't got a movie. Excited for Edward Norton. But out of these 4, y'all need to go see Honora, but see Yora in Compartment Number 6.
Yes.
Incredible role. That is
Great
my
pull.
biggest thing when bringing up this fan. I'm glad he got nominated there. I'm glad Jeremy Strong got nominated because he is impeccable in that movie, even better than the lead performance because he is the one creating The Apprentice. But bro, it is so difficult. I just told you I think Guy Pearce is incredible in The Brutalist. But there is a reason why A Real Pain has not left my top 5 movies of the year, and it's because of Kieran Culkin.
Absolutely.
I respect all the other guys. I want to hear them speak. But I'm going all in on one category, and it is Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, even more than a Best Picture one.
Yeah.
I'm realizing that now.
I mean, he just is so integral to that movie, and it just feels like he's doing such a dynamic thing. It's kind of undeniable. I really hope he wins. Is there any part of you really? What you think?
She came back. She started talking about that ending, like the ending though, where he was and why he was there, and I was like, yeah. It's good.
What do you think about the idea that this performance is somewhat similar to his work as Roman Roy, which we just gave him Emmys for?
Okay, what about it?
I've heard it said. It doesn't bother me, but I've heard it said.
Whoever has said that, I can guarantee you, I will find a performance they like where I'm like, that sounds like them in the interviews. It is completely different as well. You're just talking about a guy who's got baggage.
Yeah. Actors who didn't make the cut.
Also, hold on.
Sorry.
Another one for you. Another one for you. Zach, it sounds like it's already award worthy then.
Good one.
Who'd you like in?
I'm locking in Culkin. I mean, I love all these performances. And
right, like I'm not upset if any of these guys speak, but
same. But
Kieran is actually, I got the most heart in it for him.
To me, it's Kieran. Actors who didn't make the cut: Stanley Tucci in Conclave, Peter Sarsgaard, September 5, Samuel Jackson, Piano Lesson. I kind of Mark Edelstein. Speaking of Anora actors, I kind of feel like they chose the right 6. Like there's those performances are good too. Clarence Macklin is also very good. I like these guys.
Would you
I don't
say for
know.
Conclave you said Tucci?
Tucci.
Who am I missing?
Oh,
Lord Farquaad.
Lithgow.
Let's go. Maybe at 7. Maybe at 7. All right, good picks. Good picks. This is a solid cat. Wow, great category. Is this the only Gladiator 2 pick?
I think so.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, now we get into the best director for motion picture. First time you guys have seen any of these people's faces, maybe. We go for Brady Colbert in The Brutalist, Coralie Farge in The Substance, Edward Berger for Conclave, Jacques Audiard for Emilia Perez, Payal Kapadia for, oh, there you go. All We Imagine. Wow, All We Imagine Is Light.
Best
And
director.
Sean Baker for Anora.
Do you know who's missing?
Best directors. Yeah, Denny for Dune. Yeah.
How do you feel?
Empty. Not surprised. Like, yeah, this I think it was Emilia Perez, 10 nominees. We don't take these guys seriously. The director of Dune did not get nominated. We don't take this award seriously.
Yeah, I mean, Dune has been doing a little bit worse than I think a lot of Oscar prognosticators predicted. It missed some top 10 list. I want to say it was the NBR top 10 list. Apologies if I'm wrong about that. Do you feel like Dune might not be as strong of an Oscars contender as we once assumed it was?
Maybe, but did we not learn our lesson from the first one? Where everyone was just like, oh, no, I always like Dune Part 1. I didn't say anything about it. Now that Dune Part 2 is out, why would we do that again? But it already happened for the Oscars, so I don't see the Oscars falling for it as much as it's them continuing to do whatever prerogative they have, which is to not honor Dune here. Because just Emilia Perez, we're already talking about the same technical prowess that you're giving this guy. Okay, he mopped. Yeah. Like if you were saying, oh, we needed performance. Okay, I get Conclave, the other one, but you got The Substance in here, so you're already dealing with VFX and stuff. Because I'm trying to think of, I'm sorry, even All We Imagine Is Light. I don't see, these two in particular getting in and not.
Another one who I think really should be in here is Ramel Ross for Nickel Boys. I mean, that is
you're doing something, yes.
Yeah, an absolute stunning movie, and a movie that feels like it was, a guy made some bold choices and ended up making something beautiful. I don't know. To me, it's
rough.
Those are definite snubs. I will also be quite upset if Dune ends up winning less at the Oscars than fucking Wicked, but at least John Chu didn't make the cut here.
I guess. My point would be is if you can make 6 movies be nominated for each category and technically combining them brings you up to a 12 total from drama, comedy, musical, I think you should have a bigger directing pool because you are combining both male and female. You can make this a bigger one. Nonetheless, locking it in right here. Sean Baker and Nora.
It's his year. It feels more and more like it.
You don't think Substance comes in and snatches it?
I don't think so, but it would be cool. I think there's a world in which Jacques Audiard snatches it. I mean, Emilia Perez.
No. I see them giving it to a female director before Emilia Perez.
Maybe. I don't know, man. People love that movie.
We'll see. Very weird. Very weird category there, but some of them do deserve it for sure. Best screenplay motion picture. We got Brady Colbert and Mona Fastwell, who I believe he's married to, for The Brutalist. Coralie Farge again for The Substance. Jacques Audiard for Emilia Perez. Did he direct the dancing sequences? That's where I'm starting to get to like a Marvel director bit. How much of it was him? Yeah. Jesse Eisenberg, A Real Pain, Peter Stragon, Conclave, and Sean Baker and Nora.
This is another weird one where the Oscars actually separate into original and adapted screenplay.
Because Conclave is a book, yeah.
So the Oscars actually nominate more screenplays than the Globes do.
You got one?
From these movies, I feel like it's probably Sean Baker. I also wouldn't be surprised by Jesse Eisenberg or Brady Corbett. Weirdly, I do think I'd be like, while I think The Substance and Emilia Perez have a good shot in some other categories, I would be a bit surprised by them here.
Oh, so okay. I think we went split. As much as I want to say that, I'd love to see Jesse Eisenberg snatch something at some point from these. Wow, they gave him screenplay over director. Fascinating.
Mhm.
I like his screenplay more than I like his performance in the movie, but I feel we may get a split between director and screenplay. Corley and Sean, one gets screenplay, one gets director.
That'd be exciting. I would have liked to have seen the script for Challengers in here. Thought that was a fucking dope script. Nickel Boys as well, I think, as an adaptation is pretty stunning. Dune Part 2, even Room Next
Exhibiting
Door.
Forgiveness. Puro. Let's give some love to Puro.
Yeah.
A bit, also a different man. I feel like you're also dealing with these performances and stuff. You're like, wait, so the acting was good there? What do you think put that on the page for them? There's a couple stuff there that I also find interesting. September 5th getting some love, but the script not. We always get this, especially for international films. Seed of a Sacred Fig. The entire premise can be a book. Yeah. I'm trying to look at some other ones over here. I'd lock it in with those, but yeah, I feel like we may get a split there between The Substance and Anora, but we'll see. Best original score. We already knew that one of these is not eligible for an Oscar, so they are already dealing with different rules between the two. But let's play some yay or nay. Do you remember the score at all for Emilia Perez?
I remember the songs. I'm not sure I remember the score.
I am going big thumbs up for this one, as simple as it's been for Daniel Blumberg's The Brutalist score. It has been haunting me. It is just this rising theme. I'm rooting for it. I really like it.
To me, it's the score of the year. Absolutely.
Easily, right? Yeah. You just hear it. It's so, yeah. Hans Zimmer for Dune Part 2. I like. Not against it.
Not against it.
The Wild Robot, Chris Bowers. Pretty good stuff. I've been a fan of Chris Bowers. The more that he's risen up, I like seeing him take on a family-friendly film. It is a very powerful script. They do a very powerful score that's used at like really pivotal moments of like how it rises, and then they match it with pure silence, and then it comes in again. It is exactly how it needs to be used for a family film. Glad to see it nominated there. Yeah. But what the hell, bro? Now we got some other bangers here. Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross for Challengers. And then Volkner, who I believe may have also done the one.
Yes.
Conclave. He won it, right? For the instruments he created.
For All the Quiet on the Western Front. Yeah.
Thank you. Challengers. Challengers or Brutalists. It's got to be, right?
It's got to be. Like, I really love that Challenger score. And if you just look at like my Spotify Wrapped, that's probably the one that I listened to the most this year. Yeah. But that's also because the Brutalist soundtrack only came out recently. If it's neither of those two, I'll be upset.
Good one right there. Best original song. A reminder for those of you who do need to know, our girl has not submitted hers yet for the Netflix movie. So just know, what's her name?
Diane Warren.
Our Queen Diane Warren has not had her submission turned in yet, but I don't know the song from Beautiful That Way from the last Showgirl. No. Compress, repress.
We plays over the chorus, or sorry, the credits. Gotcha. Miley Cyrus sang it.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I can see what's getting pushed there.
She's listed there along with Licky Lee.
But look, Compress, Repress, though, that one for sure. You're talking about a 9 Inch Nails song, baby, for the soundtrack. But don't get it confused. It's still Atticus Ross. 9 Inch Nails did not work on this. They're working on, what's it? The Tron?
Tron, yeah.
Okay, don't get it twisted. Not the same guys.
Exactly.
Just because Zach and I are together in a thing doesn't mean it's intercut. It could just be Zach and Art
produced by
featuring
Zach
Ray Shrimmer, okay? Emilia Perez got a song out of the many, and they chose
two.
El Mal. There's an Mi Camino. I don't even know which one's which, bro. None of these, I'm assuming, are the sex surgery one.
I better not be.
And I can see, ironically, that it also doesn't star the actual singer in the movie. All right. Forbidden Road from Better Man. Turns out my sister's boyfriend, big fan of this Robbie guy.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, did you know there's a movie? She's like, no, I know who this Robbie guy was. I was like, neither do I. He's got a movie coming out. She's like, it's cool. When does it come out? I was like, next week. He plays a monkey. And I left it at that. New, I'm assuming?
Forbidden Road is an original song for the movie.
And then Kiss the Sky from the Wild Robot. Challengers, bro. I ain't got nothing more. Challengers.
Yeah, it's Challengers.
Can't even think of a song that we may be missing.
Clears.
Maybe something from Hundreds of Beavers.
Nothing from Moana 2?
Stop, bro. Cinematic and box.
Oh, wait. There's a song we love that didn't get in. Will and Harper, Go West.
That one's pretty good.
Yeah.
DD had a couple original music, I think.
Did it?
Yeah, they made a music video with Manchester something orchestra or something.
Yeah,
think.
yeah. Also, we're about to get a Lin-Manuel soundtrack for Mufasa, and there was a original song by Pharrell for Piece by Piece.
Yeah, there's a lot of songs actually. You're right.
Yeah.
Wait, what are we doing, bro? Twisters.
Oh, right. There's that country.
What the
They
hell?
call it original soundtrack, didn't it?
It's a whole original soundtrack for that. I got another one too. TV Glow, whole original soundtrack. What's happening, bro?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. There's actually a lot of people that were missing.
And I'm just looking at the good movies. We haven't even gotten into like the mid movies that end up getting some really good soundtracks. That's a lot missing here, bro. That's a lot missing here.
Yeah, but I feel like that's always the case with the original song.
That's bad. Got to get that fixed. They need a category for music, a whole word show just for that. All right. We still got TV to go, so let's pummel through these. Cinematic and box office achievement between Alien, Beetlejuice, Deadpool, Gladiator, Inside Out, Wild Robot, Twisters, and Wicked. I think it comes down to two clearly. It's not even close. You got Deadpool and you got Wicked.
Yeah, I mean, those
whatever this means to you, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because like, why isn't like Terrifier 3 in here with all the money?
100%.
Or like Long Legs, which passed $100 million.
100%. I agree. Inside Out 2 was a Pixar movie with good Pixar marketing. Like, right, what is the achievement?
Right.
Inside Out 2 does have an achievement though. What is the achievement with Gladiator? The amount of marketing they put?
Yeah.
Alien, Beetlejuice, like I don't get those as much as the ones that you brought up. Actual stories that go along with it. Terrifier made the most. Y'all don't even want to hear it, but look, that damn documentary about being racist also made the most money. If you're talking about a box office achievement, you saw they're going to have him on for Deadline?
Matt Walsh?
Matt Walsh is doing some of the talks. I needed to present it to you first. Don't worry, baby. We'll cover all that coming up. They're going to have him on Gold Derby, baby.
Wow.
I'm going to lock in Deadpool. If we need to discuss what movie actually made the most, I don't look at Wicked's box office and 3 days later, a Disney film took it from it. Where's Moana? This makes no sense to me when on the same damn week one of these nominees came out, Moana was breaking records. Right. It's not smart.
That's the thing, right? Like the movies are from this year, but we still have a couple blockbusters to go. It doesn't really make that much sense.
Or ones that already broke records these didn't have. But if we need to go by the numbers, it's Deadpool.
I also low-key feel like if you get nominated in this category, you should be exempt from all the other categories. But that's just me.
Nah, if this was like an independent one, maybe. But
yeah,
looking at all of these, forget the cinematic achievement. What's your favorite movie out of this bunch?
Maybe Twisters. I don't know. A bunch of like 3s and 3.5s for me. I liked Alien Romulus.
Wild Robot, I think it's pretty good. But yeah,
Wild Robot. You're right. That's actually the
Wild
best
Robot's
movie
a fantastic one. Then I got Alien on there,
but it's already probably win animated. So
something. So you need that Twisters one, right? Yeah. Best television series drama. We've got The Diplomat with 2 seasons, Mr. and Mrs. Smith with 1 season, Shogun, Slow Horses, Squid Game.
Yeah, I guess they got the advanced screeners. I got to email Netflix, I guess.
Okay. And Day of the Jackal, also advanced screeners.
Yeah, have you heard anything about Day of the Jackal?
Lena put it on the other day. What is this, Peacock? All Sunday. I'm Eddie Redmayne. Bro, just throw the ball. Come on. Can't get from 3rd to 4th down without Eddie Redmayne coming out. Tell me to watch a show.
I think the big one that's probably missing here is House of the Dragon. I mean, people were a bit mixed on the 2nd season, especially how it ended. But like, could you imagine Game of Thrones missing the cut for best drama?
Probably Pachinko.
Pachinko should be here too, but
Herb. Do they do it drama?
Yeah, drama.
Back. Gotcha. Then the only thing they're really missing here, besides Sugar, obviously the 6th episode, is nothing. I guess they mostly got most of it. Yeah, House of Dragon, Presumed Innocent, maybe Fallout if they count that as something else.
Yeah, Fallout.
And the Penguin.
Penguin gets in later. We'll talk about that.
What the hell are you talking about, bro?
You will see.
Okay, best TV series. I'm going Shogun. You already know it.
Yeah, feels like it Shogun's to lose. I don't know how good that season of Squid Game is, because remember, that was a phenomenon the first season.
I don't give a damn. Shogun's still better. The next one that we have is best TV series, musical or comedy. We got Abbott Elementary. We've got seasons 2 and 3 this year, to be honest with you. The Bear for season 3. Hacks for 3. Nobody wants this for 1. I told you I was going to get a second season. It did get a second season. Only Murders in the Building. That's your show. And then The Gentleman, which I have not caught up with. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to emulate the Emmy surprise and say Hacks again. But this might be them giving it to the Bear.
Yeah. I feel like Hacks is probably the front runner here. Little surprise.
But it was still considered a surprise at the Emmys.
Yeah. But now we know what's happened. I don't know. I guess I'm a little surprised that Shrinking isn't here. I think the first season landed in there.
Because we can't say, right, that it's new if they got Squid Game.
Yeah. We never ended up talking about Nobody Wants This after I started catching up with this. So this is the show where a podcaster who's been living in Los Angeles doesn't know what the word shiksa is, right?
Well, the actress who lives in Los Angeles playing a Los Angeles podcaster doesn't know.
Right. Cool.
So you're saying season 2 win?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Hacks in this category.
I hope they go with Hacks, but they might keep it with the Bear just to keep it with it. You're right. Limited series, anthology, or motion picture made for television. My favorite category. Baby Reindeer has been getting most of these, so I can see that being a contender. Disclaimer: have you finished it?
No, I've actually haven't even started it. I've heard not great things.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
Okay, because I had just seen the book and some people were saying read the book first. It might help you with it. Caught the first episode. Have not jumped back in it, but that's on Apple TV. Definitely have to. Monsters was a phenomenon as well. Ripley was the underrated one that I'm glad continues to get nominations, right? That we're not bringing it, from the outside in. Penguin, and then I don't get this True Detective love. I'm going to keep it simple here. We both love Ripley, but it's going to be Baby Reindeer.
You don't think Penguin's got a shot here? I think it's going to be Baby Reindeer too, but
no, I don't think the Penguin's got a shot.
Yeah.
Well, surprise me. Why not? But no, it's Baby Reindeer. You don't think Ripley surprises?
I don't. I think it's happy to just be there.
Okay. All right. Now getting into the performances. Female actor in a lead for drama. Anna Sawai from Shogun, Emma Darcy, House of the Dragon, Kathy Bates, Matlock, Keira Knightley, Black Doves, and then we have Kerry Russell for The Diplomat and Maya Erskine for Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Anna.
Yeah, I mean it kind of feels like it's Shogun's year, right? It's the
Black Doves just came out too. Like that's just it's still hot. Like it's just came out of Netflix.
Yeah, straight out the oven.
Yeah. Emma Darcy's been doing a really good job at House, and I like Kathy Bates and Matlock. It's just very daytime TV. Yeah. It's a very procedural show that all of a sudden you got it over here with these like pristine television. It's a little weird. She's good in it.
Yeah, Emma Darcy's great. I also think Maya Erskine is great in Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
I got to wrap that one up, but sounds good. All right. But both Anna?
Yeah, I'll go with Anna.
Coming off the Emmy win. All right. Drama, lead actor. We got Billy Bob Thornton Landman, who has been killing me. He's so funny in the show. He doesn't even try to be. Donald Glover and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. We had a debate whether he's considered a good actor or not in the Zarita household.
Oh, yeah?
Best performance.
What did the Zarita household?
Best performance. Let me hear.
Donald Glover's best performance. I really think he's fantastic as Troy in Community.
It's a fair role. Yeah. I said he was, for the record.
Yeah, I think he's also, is he not like the best part of Solo? He's still in it. He's still good in it.
That was good. That was cute. I like the dish you made me. The plate was really nice. I like the plate you plated it on.
I really like his acting in the music video for Sober from Childish Gambino.
That was pretty good too. Yeah. Look, I'm going to go... Oh, we're still going through Eddie Redmayne, Day of the Jackal, Gary Oldman, Slow Horses, Hiroyuki Sanada for Shogun, and Jake Gyllenhaal, Presumed Innocent. I'm going to keep it with the Shogun win since he's also coming off the Emmy.
I'd agree with you there.
Jake's not bad in Presumed Innocent. He's pretty good. Who's better is Ruth.
I'm not up to date on Slow Horses, but Gary Oldman is so good on Slow Horses.
Okay. I've heard nothing but good things for Slow Horses. You saw Slow Horses? They got 3 seasons. You go on IMDb, they got 6 seasons ready to go.
they just keep turning. That's part of the reason why I want to watch it.
What the hell?
It's a show that's actually lasting beyond 3
We're
seasons.
already behind.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Okay, to me, they were still on season 1. Best performance by a female actor in a television series, musical, or comedy. For The Bear, they've got Io. For Hacks, Jean Smart. Agatha. Oh, okay. Nobody Wants This, Kristen Bell. She was good in it, though.
Yeah.
Besides not knowing words.
Kristen Bell and Adam Brody are delightful actors.
Fantastic. Quinta for Abbott, and then Selena Gomez.
Double nominee Selena Gomez.
Okay, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna lock this one in. Jean Smart.
Yeah, I think it's Jean Smart. Io had her awards moment, but I feel like Jean kind of had a great season on Hacks, and
Jean continues to have, yeah.
Best
performance by an actor in a television series, musical, or comedy. We just talked about the boy, Adam Brody. Nobody Wants This. First 10 minutes, bro. I was in because of him.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy Jason Segel for Shrinking, Jeremy Allen White for The Bear, Martin Short, and Steve Martin for Only Murders, and Ted Danson, A Man on the Inside. Excuse me, just started that last night.
Delightful, right?
It's good.
Yeah.
It ain't winning the Golden Globe, though. I am going. I continue to think it's unfair for Jeremy Allen White to be in it for The Bear because I'm getting 2 completely different emotions from him and the 7 episodes I saw with Adam Brody. That's a comedy performance. This gave his co-stars like hernias by the end of the show with how much stress he gave them. So to me, it's unfair. It's been unfair for these 2 gentlemen who have been getting nominated damn near every season for Only Murders. So it's unfair. It's Jeremy Allen. But if I had to pick who made me laugh the most out of this group, maybe it's because it's the one show I've definitely watched, but Adam Brody, I'm sorry, he mopped it in the show as a sexy.
It would be a fun win. He's long been an overlooked actor and is deserving of some accolades like this.
You've seen more though. Who do you got?
I mean, if we're judging it as by your criteria, who made you laugh the most?
Funny,
I would go with Martin Short. He's so fucking funny on Only Murders. But that Jeremy Allen White performance is great, and it's gonna win.
It's solid, yeah. Okay, best performance by a female actor in a limited series anthology. We have Cate Blanchett. Disclaimer. Kristen Milioti. Ooh, the Penguin. I wasn't gonna give Penguin a win, but I might for that one. Jodie Foster, True Detective. Kate Winslet, The Regime. The hell. Naomi Watts, Feud. It was good. And Sofia Vergara for Griselda. I'm going Kristen Milioti, The Penguin.
I'm gonna back you up there.
We've also got best performance by a female actor in a supporting role on television. 1 second. I'm still recording. Allison Janney for The Diplomat, Dakota Fanning for Ripley, Hannah Einbinder, Hacks, Jessica Gunning, Baby Reindeer, Kelly Reese, True Detective, and Liza Colon Zayas for The Bear. Wow, all of these women. Dakota Fanning, damn, has to come in at number 3 because Liza just won. Jessica, to me, is the shoo-in because of her performance in Baby Reindeer.
Yeah.
And Hannah Einbinder is just also not as great as her predecessor, but she's consistently there in Hacks doing a great job. It's Jessica, dude. Just that Baby Reindeer stuff has tormented people. Dakota is underrated. She has been making a comeback, and nothing has been as good as Ripley, and that's on Netflix.
Yeah. She's fantastic. I would have been very happy to see her win this, but it does kind of feel like it'd be hard to beat out Baby Reindeer.
Yeah, Jessica Gunning all the way for sure. Have you started The Diplomat, by the way?
I tried it. Not my usual kind of show, but people seem to like it.
Yeah, it's been popping off. I know they got their 2nd season. Best performance by a male actor, limited, all that good stuff. We've got Andrew Scott and Ripley, incredible. Colin Farrell and the Penguin, some of the best makeup. Cooper Coach, I believe, had the winner in the Monsters series. I don't know if you got to finish it, but it's a whole episode just on him.
Okay.
Ewan McGregor, A Gentleman in Moscow. Got to watch that one. Kevin Kline, Disclaimer. Got to finish. And Richard Gadd, Baby Reindeer. Solid stuff. Richard, Colin, Andrew. Who you got?
I think Andrew is doing the best acting. I feel like there's a good chance that Richard wins this because of people's love for Baby Reindeer, but I think their love is more based on the writing and not his performance necessarily. I think Colin Farrell it should be considered maybe the front runner.
I think Andrew Scott has done the best acting. Colin Farrell has done the most acting. What he had to do with that makeup is just there, because I was rewatching episodes with my brother, and at no point do I second guess the makeup.
Right.
That
just believe it instantly.
is incredible.
Yeah.
But I feel like the crowd, everyone's going for that Richard Gadwin, and it closes out his baby reindeer run. Isn't that crazy? He's just nonstop since the show came out. Best performance by a male actor in a supporting role. We've got La Máquina, Diego Luna, who I think is incredible in the show, almost unrecognizable, almost.
Is this the show with him and Gael?
Yes, bro.
Yeah,
And his face is going that way, and he's acting this way, and I'm like, wait, what? Some really great makeup on there. Evan Moss Baccarat for The Bear, Harrison Ford for Shrinking, which I know you like, Jack London for Slow Horses, Javier Bardem for Monsters, and Tadanobu Asano from Shogun. I'm going with Diego. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Really?
You got to watch an episode, bro.
I can catch
It's
up.
weird. It's like you could. Whoa, no, because you're watching a whole scene and you're like, when did he? Ain't no way he's been there the whole time.
You're abandoning Shogun here.
For supporting, I didn't have it for well, I don't think the Emmys had La Máquina in there, so he would probably be my second runner-up. I probably have him tied with Evan for this newest season, if we're going off 3 for The Bear. But Diego's performance, no, for me, might not be the winner, but for me, that's my pick. Who do you
got? Maybe I go Tadanobu. Honestly, I don't know why my brain is going towards Harrison Ford, because I just thought he was like,
you like him, no?
Yeah, I mean he's a good actor, but I think he's just so elevates the material in Shrinking. They're just really spoiled to have an actor as good as him in the supporting role on that show.
Him in the background, right?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see how that one goes. I have to catch up on that one. I did go back to show Alita that glitch you were saying. Probably top 3 worst glitches we've got on a screener for sure.
Crazy.
Completely different seeing it up on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah. Very bizarre.
Got to join the Intercutie Patreon club to know what we're talking about there. But I think we're wrapping it up with our final categories here. Best performance in stand-up comedy or television. Adam Sandler, Love You. Ali Wong, Single Lady. Jamie Foxx, What Had Happened Next, which what had happened was it isn't even out yet. Nikki Glazer, Someday You'll Die. Not as funny as I wanted it to be. Remy Youssef, More Feelings was good. And Seth Meyers, Dad Man Walking, I have not seen. So for this, we might be split. I feel you're going the Sandman, but I'm going to lock in Remy.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with Rami winning here. It's an excellent special. I think that Sandler is genuinely giving like a good performance, because there are these somewhat like
the stage falls apart,
scripted elements and ad libs going on that are.
I have to run that one back. Yeah,
it's really funny.
But this is the one where Rami said the Biden administration reached out to him and he said, "No way, it's up to me." And that's it for the Golden Globe nominations. Let us know your thoughts down below. What deserves to win? What got snubbed? Who's hosting? Nikki Glazer, no? Because didn't she just get nominated?
Oh, really?
Yeah, Nikki Glazer, who also is nominated for Best Stand-Up Special as well, down below.
Which is good, because the Golden Globes are legendarily the home of Ricky Gervais, and even Tina and Amy had some kind of like some pretty strong jokes at the expense of the nominees. So
they just got what's his name? Rothaniel. His whole bit was getting paid to reel them a new one. So
right.
Yeah, that is all the Golden Globe stuff here. Hopefully we covered a majority of the films that may have missed your radar in terms of award season. Mentioned some that we believe will be mentioned later on. We'll be talking more about award stuff leading up to the Oscars, since we still have the Astras that were just won, the Gothams. The Spirit Award nominations are coming out. There's so much stuff coming out for award season that we'll be covering every week here on the Intercut podcast. But that should wrap up all of our movies, TVs, and movie news. Now it's time to wrap up the show with what we're watching and what's coming up. But first, a big shout out to the Intercutie Patreon.
Yeah, one more shout out to the wonderful people supporting this show, either by pledging on patreon.com/intercutpod for as little as $3, or hitting that join button to become a member on YouTube. You can also support the show on Spotify. There's so many ways to show that you love what we're doing, and the people who've already done so are seeing their names on the screen right now. But in the Academy tier, they are Tushar, Cademan, Connor, May, Ricky, Joe, Wiley, Benji, Matt, Jeremy, and Michael, I guess, as well as producer level patrons Toon, Brandon G, and Josh. A huge thanks to all of you once again for your support of the show.
Appreciate you. Now let's get into the new 2C, covering all of the new stuff that's come out, including some of the stuff from the past week where we had missed out on some things. We begin this week with a little movie, as it pops up here, called Kraven the Hunter. And I got nothing to say. I feel like this has been delayed for a year. It sucks because Zach and I both know J.C. Chandler as a guy who can direct movies.
That's like my only reason to hold out a little bit of hope. I like Aaron Taylor Johnson as an actor, but I mean, I don't think I've liked a single of these Sony Spider-Man
and why would this be the one?
spinoffs. Yeah.
Why would this break the parlay? So
Exactly.
Kraven the Hunter comes out this week. None of us have screeners for it because Sony knows better than to do that. So we'll be catching up with this one for next week. It's getting a very nay for me. Yeah. So instead, we'll be going to the theater to do a double feature to cleanse our mouth with Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrm. I have heard mixed things already.
Uh-oh. I'm not a huge
I might have to fit queer in between. Yeah. I don't know, bro.
I'm curious.
It's also a whopping 134 minutes.
Yo, is that a 1.5-star review from Ehrlich? Uh-oh.
Yes.
Not great.
It was the end of the month. He had a quota to reach. So Lord of the Rings, I'm a little bit more excited than Kraven, but yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a slog this week at the box office, in my opinion. Yeah. Unless you get some of these independent movies. You got September 5th that we shouted out, just picked up some Golden Globes. Perfect time to release it. Since they delayed it, now it makes more sense. They had those campaigns ready to go. I would recommend this one in theaters. There's also another movie that we caught at TIFF called Young Werther. I thought it was pretty delightful. It's starting to get a rollout in some places as it expands release, eventually getting a digital one. It's about this like socialite who ends up moving up in the ranks because he has a crush on Alison Pill. Alison Pill is adorable, and it's her adorableness that kind of carries the movie with it. But I thought it was a cute little film. Zach was mentioning Maria as one of the first releases to come out for Netflix at home. Another Oscars contender. He said Maria was good. The movie, not so much, but that's what you get with Pablo. So seek out that one on Netflix if you're interested. But honestly, like 7 picks, 7 announcements before I tell you the one that I'm actually excited for. Carry On. This trailer for Netflix looks amazing. Have you seen it?
No. Tell me more about it.
Bro, Taron Egerton is playing like the TSA guy, and Jason Bateman is bringing in a bomb or something like that. And it's just a thriller. Them two. This feels like it should be coming out to theaters. Yeah. And it's going straight to Netflix. It looks awesome. Just watch 10 seconds of the trailer. I am so settled in. It's been a while since I've been waiting for like something to drop on Netflix.
Right.
Carry On, I'm hoping delivers on that bit. It looks like the exact type of thriller that I'm looking to catch. So Carry On coming out in your own living room.
Dope.
Keep an eye on it for that one. Then we got the slew of TV, dude. Dexter. But the prequel, Original Sin, out on Paramount Plus. We were saying that Paramount doesn't know what they're doing. I mean, just look at the premise of the show. I don't even know what else to tell you. I think this is the 3rd spinoff for Dexter.
Yeah.
And they're doing it because it's a young Dexter, but you see the original Dexter gets to do the inner voice, Zach. So it's there. So you ever a Dexter fan?
You still get that Michael C. Hall you want and crave.
Easily.
Yeah, I was a Dexter fan. I think the first like 4 seasons of that show are like really good. Yeah.
Lena owns it somewhere. She was a big fan, and then whatever happened, at the end of the show, kind of.
Yeah, like people like to talk about like, oh, Game of Thrones fell off. No, Dexter fell off.
That's a great point. Like people don't get that, right? It reminds me of when we were arguing The Idol season 2. Oh, right. This is falling off. This is terrible. No, ma'am, you're joining every week to watch this. That is not falling off. Falling off is Yellow Jacket season 2 not being talked about at all. Yeah, great point. Dexter hurts because it was at the top, wasn't it?
It was.
And they dropped it. And all of this is trying to make up for the fact that they screwed up a really good show.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to get back into it, bro.
Panavision in the live stream pointing out, why are his eye colors different?
It's the rose-colored glasses and the themes of, I don't know, bro. But it's not the only prequel spinoff thing that we're getting, bro. Paris has fallen.
Is anything still standing? Everything's falling.
From the Has Fallen series, until every rock has been turned over, they will continue this. Yeah. It doesn't come with any of the cast, so it reminds me of like the Training Day.
Right.
And all of those shows that get put on Fox, but this one is getting put on, what is this?
Canal Plus?
What the hell's Canal Plus, bro?
It
It's
looks
not
like
even loading.
Hulu it's going to be
Is it Hulu?
Hulu in America.
Bro, if it's Hulu, then that's Fox. What am I saying? It's the exact same damn thing. I will not be tuning into Paris Has Fallen because I'll be very busy with the next installment of Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Not doing it for you?
I mean, I didn't watch a minute of The Acolyte, so I don't know. I'd try Skeleton Crew.
Because we're starting at 0 here, and you got Jude Law. No? Oh, okay. Well, I know you're not a horror guy, which is why I got you another one instead. With all these retreads, maybe if I give you The Creep, but in tape form for Shudder.
Look, I like the
No.
Duplaces. Duplets. I was never a Creep guy. Should I get into the Creep movies?
I don't care for the Creep movies. I
Yeah,
think
I
they're
know.
effective in like, I don't want to see this. Like, yo, this works really well. I don't want to be in the middle of nowhere with you. I also want to see the movie. Like, I've always, that's my review of the Creep.
Too effective.
I saw someone posted like the whole intro for this on YouTube, and same review for me. I don't want to be there at all. How about I offer you The Sticky, bro? Character actress Margot Martindale is running a syrup business, and I think like the cartel comes to take stuff away from her. So now she got to fight back. No,
sounds dope. I love Margot Martindale.
It's okay. I saw the first episode. It was all right.
Okay.
But that's a new one that they got over there. But
it seems like one of those shows that would have been greenlit like after Breaking Bad became a big hit. You know what I mean?
Like they tried getting a weeds in there, but for syrup.
Yeah.
Look, maybe it's because you're too busy catching up on 2025 stuff. You want to make sure that you're in tune for all the big blockbusters, which is why you're catching James Gunn's Creature Commandos on Max, bro.
Totally. Yeah, it's high on my list.
You do know
a countdown clock.
If we'll be reviewing DC, you'll have to review these because these are a part of the world, right?
Really?
You know, this is technically, supposedly, the first thing we're getting.
The new DCEU?
Weasel is in here. So his brother voices Weasel as a cartoon because in live action, he will be Weasel. Amanda Waller is being voiced by, what's her name? Because she was in the live action.
All right.
So when you get Frank Grillo here as this yellow guy, he is first being introduced as an animated form, but he will play him whenever he comes out live action. They are going all out on this. I'm curious. I'm very curious. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, look,
like it might actually work.
On the surface, it doesn't appeal to me, but like James Gunn does have a knack for these things, right? Like I kind of have enjoyed.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think Peacemaker was going to be good. I kind of enjoyed that too.
He's been doing that, right?
Yeah.
Will you ever get tired of it being the same ragtag group of teams that people don't really know getting together?
I'm tired of it right now, dude.
The last two that we have, one I'm really excited for, 100 Years of Solitude. They are breaking this up into parts. It is based off of one of the most iconic epics, fantasy epics, I think from Spain. And they got a really good director to do this because she previously was getting a lot of love. Let me try to pull up her stuff right here. Laura Ortega previously did Kings of the World, which was shortlisted. I got to catch this one at Chicago. So she's been getting a lot of love as a director. How do I even get back to this? Boot this back up over here this way. Now she's going to be coming up with this adaptation. It's the part one of what is supposed to be a generational spanning thing. If you don't know anything about this series, it's all based off one book that's like the heftiest thing you can find. And a lot of it is based off of the language and how characters speak to each other, because it's almost supposed to be like someone from 100 years ago is connected to someone in the present. Mm-hmm. Dude, it sounds so fascinating. It feels like Netflix is taking care of it like they did the show Dark. I hope it delivers. Part one comes out this week. So very much looking forward to that. And then wrapping up the week, Dream Productions. Will they be able to stick the landing? They've had other Pixar shows. This kind of feels like the one that may start booting things up. A whole series taking place in the Dream Production studios from the Inside Out world. It looks cute. So we'll be seeing how that one goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of thing that you were talking about where if you can successfully pull off something that just feels like adjacent to the movie and not a replacement or whatever, then maybe it'll take off. And I don't know. Sounds like it could be a fun premise.
There's a chance that it works there, but that's all the stuff that's coming out this week. It's time to get into the our picks for the week. I've got my 3 right here, starting with a doc, some shorts, and a movie to catch in theaters. My first one did have a theatrical run. We even caught it, or it was a release back at Sundance. Um, it was an in-person one. Didn't get to see it there, but it finally releases on HBO Max, and I think it's worth the wait. Superman's or Super Slash Man, the Christopher Reeve story, goes into not just what he did to become the character, but the man that he was and how what big of an inspiration he was. His mistakes, a lot of the stuff dealing with his family. It's very in depth, covers everything that you want to know, the ups and downs. And I'm surprised this isn't getting a little bit more love in terms of the documentaries that are out there. I think it fits the mold for a lot of things. The closer they can compare it to, and this one is a little bit better, but it's in that realm. The Michael J. Fox one.
Oh yeah, Still, which we loved on Apple TV Plus.
Yes.
This movie, when it premiered at Sundance, was like a pretty big deal. It's also one of the only documentaries that played there that they didn't offer digital links for, which is usually a good indicator of their confidence level in the movie. And then I believe it sold to HBO for like maybe a record amount for documentaries.
Or doc?
It was over 10 million, I believe, right? So
exactly.
I agree with you. It's a little strange that it's not getting a little more pomp and circumstance.
Yeah.
I thought it would be more of like an Oscar contender. I haven't heard much buzz in that category, but people seem to like it.
They brought it out to theaters, made it a Fathom event, couldn't use your A-list. Made money. Then they opened it up for A-list. It had an extended run in theaters. Now it's going to be at home. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised by it, but it is a good movie. Keep it on your radar. Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. 2 shorts that I have to put on your radar that are both on Mubi, so you can catch them in the comfort of your own home. Both come from, I want to say, Sundance. The first is Dream Creep, one of my favorites, in where a partner hears their beloved speaking while they're sleeping, but it's not coming from their mouth. It's coming from their ear. It is a very weird, atmospheric thriller horror that's very short and is up on Mubi. Catch it if you are interested.
Cool.
Alongside Bob's Funeral, which I want to say this was Sundance. If it wasn't, it's South by. It was Sundance. This one is about a guy animating his uncle and all the memories that he had from him, but it's done in this like paper mache stop motion thing. It's so eccentric. It's so funny. Give this one a watch. It's also available up on Mubi. So those would be my 2 movie short film picks. And then the last one that I have here is one that's getting the limited release. I'd give the shout out to September 5th as well, but I feel that movie's going to do okay. The one that's getting a very limited run here and there is Nickel Boys, still playing at some local festivals. One to keep on your radar, and one where I had just ordered the book for Black Friday because it was on sale. So Nickel Boys coming out. We'll be having more discussions for this one as well.
Yeah, definitely one of the movies of the year. I'll back up that recommendation. My pick are a couple movies that are now playing in limited release. The first one is The End, a movie that I know people are pretty mixed about. The musical from Josh Oppenheimer, taking a look at a rich family's life in the bunker following the end of the world. I think there's a lot of really interesting ideas here about class and like the ways in which the rich try to mold the world to their own to their own needs, to their own perception of it in a way that makes them feel good about themselves. And I think it's a movie that will maybe disappoint people in theaters, but like linger and maybe find its audience at home. So even though it's only in theaters right now, like I still think it's worth checking out, but maybe it's one just to keep on the radar for when it is finally available at home.
It takes a little elbow grease, but there is stuff in there. That's why you can't just dismiss it. But it's a long one too. These musicals, they put the money out for musicals this year.
They really did.
I'm very excited for this next one, though. I can't wait to see this one in theaters.
Yes. This next one is another one that I saw at Toronto. It is The Order, the newest from director Justin Kurzel, who you may remember from some of his work in more action-oriented films like Macbeth and Assassin's Creed. The true history of the Kelly gang, which I know was not your favorite. I think you like this one a bit more. This one stars Jude Law as an FBI agent working to stop a domestic terrorist plot involving a group of white supremacists led by Nicholas Hoult. And I think it's just got a real old-fashioned like cops and criminals feel to it. Like you know in Heat, where it's really these like 2 big forces circling each other. I think this has got a similar energy between Jude Law's character and Nicholas Hoult's character. I also really like our guy Ty Sheridan in this film as well. Just a pretty interesting film that has some resonance as well in the topics it's covering. But mostly it's just an effective thriller with a really great ending sequence.
Nice. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah. And then I've been on a run of recommending video games and the picks for the week. So I thought might as well keep it going, even though I haven't had a chance to play this one yet. Have you heard anything about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle?
Bro, tell me why this hit me out of nowhere. I was like, what are you all talking about, a new Indiana Jones
They made a fucking Indiana Jones game. This is published by Bethesda and developed by Machine Games, who made some of the recent Wolfenstein and Quake games. You probably recognize Bethesda from their work on stuff like Starfield and Elder Scrolls. This is a game that is putting you in the shoes of the beloved movie architect Indiana Jones. There's a whole sequence in the game that's just
mimicking the first one, right?
The boulder sequence. Yeah.
I heard people complaining about that. They're like, why would I want to watch it when I could just play some like really dumb stuff, right? Like stuff where it's like, okay, then like the answer is don't.
Right.
I saw everything else dealing with the game. Hey, why does this look like the most beautifully released game?
It looks fun. It does look like it could have a little bit of like Uncharted energy in terms of.
I was about to say, I didn't want to say it.
Yeah,
but that is funny how that works.
Yeah, I don't know if I expect it to be like quite on Uncharted's level, but I do hope that I'll have a fun time with it. I thought it was interesting.
Buy it?
So it's only available for Xbox and PC. You know me, I'm a PlayStation 5 guy, so I got to figure that out.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I mean, I got a Steam Deck that maybe I could try running it on. But yeah, you might need to pony up for that Xbox, dude.
Why not Sony?
I don't know. I think
damn it, Disney.
Yeah, I think they have the rights to it, so they're keeping it exclusive at least for now. Although I feel like I remember hearing a rumor that they were planning to port it to PlayStation at some point. Might be pulling that out of my ass. I thought it was interesting. Indiana Jones here, if you watch the trailers, it sounds quite a bit like Harrison Ford. Maybe not exactly, but like you might be mistaken to think like, oh, did they pull audio from the movies or something?
Just put the guns down.
Go ahead. I'll knock your teeth out.
Did you hear that?
Pretty solid, right? That's Troy Baker, who you may remember as the voice of Booker from BioShock 2 or the voice of Joel from
Joker.
The Last of Us.
Come on, bro. That's my boy.
Yeah.
Say less, bro. Then this is the game of the year. What are we doing here?
All right, man. I better point out for that Xbox. Yeah.
That's terrible. What the hell? Put it on PlayStation. All right. Yeah, I saw it come out. My emotions went from why to what to whoa.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good.
I haven't played it yet, but if any intercuties out there are watching it, please, or playing it, please let us know. I'm really curious.
Bro, that's right. I got to tell you. I get on my phone after the last time we recorded. I hop on the App Store. Guess what I find as a part of my... Because I got the whole Apple Pay thing.
Game of the Year, Balatro?
Game of the Year, Balatro, bro. Yeah, for free because I got the Apple Arcade.
Oh, shoot. You got it for free?
I see it there and I'm like $9.99. I was like, bro, I don't know about this. I scroll a little bit and it's part of my Apple Arcade. I was like, let's go. I have no idea what I'm doing, bro.
I need to explain the poker rules to you maybe a little bit more.
We'll get that all down when waiting
on
streams and stuff. But running it back, I got Superman, the Christopher Reeve story for you to check out, coming on to Max, one of the best documentaries of the year. We've also got a couple of shorts for you to catch over on Mubi if you're interested in Dream Creep, as well as the other Sundance short that got a lot of buzz from us, Bob's Funeral. But if you're looking to make it out to the theaters and you don't want to see Kraven, you don't want to see a 2.5 hour Lord of the Rings movie, try to catch Nickel Boys, the Golden Globe nominated, soon to be Oscar nominated film to definitely have on your radar.
And my picks for the week are the musical and class satire film from Josh Oppenheimer, The End, the hard-boiled action flick, The Order from Justin Kurtzel, and the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle video game for Xbox and PC.
I like when you cover indie games. You know, those under the radar.
Yeah. You know, people
Stuff
won't
that we
hear
give out.
about them unless I mention them on
They
the
won't.
Intercut podcast. So
Independent cinema all the way through.
we got a
Oh,
couple live stream
I'll
questions.
see in there. Yeah. Nicholas Gray says, "Do you guys think it's possible? Do you guys think possible for double Honora supporting actors for Euro and Mark or Karen?"
I mean, I think there's
I'm surprised one got in.
that's the thing. All three of them splitting votes is not going to help. And we were talking about that category. That is a stacked category. Like, I think it's more likely Honora gets 0 supporting Oscar nominations than 2. Even if
But would be good. I got really excited when I saw him pop up. So, Panovision had also said, "I would consider The Suicide Squad as technically the first DCU film that was already a soft reboot of the original film." I agree. So we're getting into this weird thing because that would be Weasel. Weasel was in there, but then so is Harley Quinn. So we really don't know where it begins anymore.
Right. I guess we could say that that show, I'm already forgetting the name of, it's the first DCEU property post James Gunn actually taking over, because he wasn't yet in charge when he made
In December on a Sunday.
Right.
Yeah, he wasn't completely in charge yet, but I don't know. Maybe he was in the background. Who knows? Did y'all get to catch the Interstellar re-release in IMAX 70mm? We did not get to catch it in 70mm, but I am excited to steal a 70mm and project it off my roof eventually.
I was talking about it in our video on Interstellar, which hopefully you had a chance to watch. But the run of screenings at the legendary Lincoln Square AMC were sold out. They added some more dates. I'm going. I'm doing it.
When?
Gonna see it. I don't.
2026.
I don't know. Probably next week. But
book them, bro, before they leave again.
yeah.
No, I definitely want to get some tickets there. Maybe when we're traveling across for Sundance or the like, I'll be able to visit some other IMAXs throughout the country since we don't have one here. But if you do know what the best IMAX in the country is or elsewhere, then hit us up over at a Intercut Pod or me at LME Movies to let me know on every social media, Letterboxd, Twitter, YouTube. You have to come here. It is the best IMAX in the world. I should probably put together like a website of all the best theaters that we've been to.
Right.
And that'll be the book that we end up publishing. But that is all for this week's show. Zach, where can people find more from you?
You can find more from me across social media at Zshevich, ZSHEVICH, and find more videos from me wherever you find videos at Multiplex Show.
Beautiful. A reminder that you can catch every single episode of the Intercut podcast on iTunes, Anchor, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcatcher is. And you can catch the live video here every week on youtube.com, where we go through all of the movies of the week, all of the TV of the week, sometimes even the awards of the week. What's up?
Oh, you can also catch our video on Spotify, where we were just in the top 5% of all video podcasts. I'm going to mention this again at the top of next week's show, because we got a bunch of Wrapped stuff, and we saw people who posted that we were on their Wrapped, and that's always really exciting. So thanks to all of you who've been listening throughout the year and continue to. That always makes us happy to see stuff like that.
Yeah, we got a couple weeks more, so we should put that at the top of the shows. Give it thanks to everybody who had us trending on all those charts, who were giving us those shout outs in the live streams, all the iTunes listeners who were giving us those 5 stars. This is the end of the year where we see it all accumulate into something really big. Yeah. Which, speaking of, I know you had mentioned some of them, but if you have something to pull from that or other places that we charted for this week.
Well, we charted really well in Estonia. Shouts to all of y'all there. We charted in Ecuador, Slovakia, Czechia, UAE, Thailand, Singapore, Hong Kong, Poland, India, Austria, the Netherlands, Norway, Canada, the UK, and right here in the United States of America.
Beautiful. Again, a big thanks to all the Intercuties, all the patrons. Don't forget to check out our Intercut clips, the website, all the good stuff that we have coming up. They're saying the Sundance lineup is going to drop this Wednesday, so we got a lot of stuff for y'all. If you're an Intercutie patron especially, we'll be doing the Sundance preview next week, followed by, if you're an Intercutie patron, the special live streams for our Best in TV, Best in Movies, all that good stuff as we wrap up the final year, and then start January by giving you the best of next year already. So don't forget to leave us a comment, drop a like, follow all of the socials over on Intercut Pod, and until next time, keep watching movies where Amy Adams won't get nominated.
We love you, Amy. I'm on a really good Balatro run here, getting flushes and full houses like no other. It's great. This is great.